And
What kind of disgusting, despicable lack of respect is that Billy What's His Name show booking a match for the total package Lex Luger and Super Brawl? Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday? Can he afford to pay me to wrestle around? I don't know. I'm one of the biggest legends and stars ever in this. God! And your t-shirts are too tight too, Billy! And you book a match with me against Ryan Killings? Look at me! I'm a total package! I will rip him apart! I'm pissed now!
I'm pissed now.
it's just every time I watch it, I'm still surprised at how he talks. Like,
It's so strange. It's like one of the strangest promos ever, really.
it's like booking a match with. It's like, say it slower, man. It sounds like you're slurring. Maybe he was high on drugs. Maybe that was during the time, after Miss Elizabeth died or something. I
don't think Lex is like a natural promo. Like, I don't think he's like one of those guys that can come up with shit off the top of his head very well. Because like what I know, I've seen it several times where it's like he starts doing a promo and you can tell where it's one where he didn't rehearse anything or he didn't like have lines.
Yeah.
And I feel like he like kind of talks in a circle a little bit, and then he'll like lose his own place. You know how people do that sometimes? They're just like, oh shit, and then you start rambling. Sometimes we do that.
Yeah, I admit it. I can't improv that well because I'm always like thinking what to say. I'm a better writer than actually talking is the thing. And it's funny because I do podcasts. So it's hilarious that,
You
like
write
that.
the scripts, and then we'll read them.
All right. which is funny, by the way. Big Trouble podcast. The next episode after Lake Mungo, I had one of the AI. I wrote a script where AI voice, and it's like a military dude saying shit. So I can't wait for you guys to hear that episode. But anyway, we are getting some color here, and we are going to be talking WWF Raw August 15th, 1994, and WCW Clash of Champions 28. You got to remember they number their Clash of Champions, and that was, oh my god, I forgot the date, but it's after Raw August.
I've got it. It's August 18th.
Is it August 18th or 24th?
Oh shit, my bad. I was somewhere else in my file. See, I'm fucking up already. It was August 24th. That was last year's date I just gave you.
Yeah. Yeah, so they do it every August, it seems like, the Clash of Champions. But before we get into that, I guess we could discuss some news. I mean,
Well, we can save it for after.
oh, after? Okay.
Just in case. Yeah, like I said, because I don't know where we're gonna go with this.
Okay. All right, so let's start off because we love to go chronologically.
Besides, do we want to end on a sour note?
No, yeah,
'Cause
that's
I feel like we're going to end on a little bit of a sour note.
yeah. All right, so let's get into something good first, which is WWF Monday Night Raw, August 15th, 1994. We're in the Lowell Auditorium in Lowell, Massachusetts, and we have commentators Vince McMahon, yeah, and Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah!
And the first thing we're shown is the confrontation between Lex Luger and Tatanka, because Tatanka thinks that Lex Luger is a turncoat, and they're having like a little feud because he thinks he's with Ted DiBiase in his little cloning project or whatever.
He started those rumors. Remember that where they had the interview in the office, whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna buy all the talent, but buy Bam Bam Bigelow. I buy Lex Luger. He's like, Lex Luger? Yeah.
I just find it weird that like Tatanka is like all pissed off. Like, who cares? Like,
Yeah, like I don't know that they were ever really that good of friends, like on screen.
and they always do like this thing like an American icon, which I guess is Lex Luger at this point, and also another American icon, which is a Native American, Tatanka. Like, That's the like American icons of 1994.
I mean, Native Americans are American icons, sure.
Yeah, it's just funny that a Native American is saying to American, "You're a turncoat." Like it's so weird.
Listen, he reintegrated into society.
Yeah.
He got off the reservation.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know where that's gonna go. Frankly, I think this is where Lex Luger starts to wane out a little bit. He's still getting pops though, but he's like waning out of the main event picture, sort of say.
He's still popular, but his booking is like he's definitely like not as relevant as he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's sliding down the card.
Yeah. So Vince and Macho Man says tonight we will have Ted DiBiase and Paul Bearer as guests in the King's Court. We're having another King's Court. Plus Owen Hart versus 1-2-3 Kid is the main event first match.
Yeah, they go right into it pretty much.
Yeah. So I'll let you take away this. He's with Jim Neidhart, by the way.
Yeah, Anvil's like his emotional support animal during all of this. Because they're not tagging yet. I don't think Anvil even teams with him. He's just there to like be his stooge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure he leaves again like pretty soon.
Leaves again to another company, or
yeah, either he gets fired or I'm pretty sure he gets fired again.
Jim Neidhart seems like a guy that would like always open his mouth at the boss.
Well, I'm not sure if it was that, or it could be because of drugs, because he had some pretty bad drug problems back then.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, I think cocaine was like his shit.
Seems about right.
But yeah. So I didn't write a lot of notes about this match because honestly, it was so fast, it was hard to write notes. Because they started at 110 miles per hour and just didn't let up.
Mm-hmm.
And if I stopped to write notes, I would be pausing the match like every fucking 20 seconds. And I was like, it'd make the match like way longer than what it actually was, which was pretty long for a TV match. I think it was about 15-ish minutes or longer. About like the Bret Hart 1-2-3 Kid match in terms of length.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Owen Hart is a little bit quicker than Bret. He's a little bit of high flyer, high risk taker. But we always talk about, me and you at least, talk about how AEW does like this ballerina flippy doodah shit. And when you watch 1-2-3 Kid and Owen Hart, you don't get that sense of ballerina, pointing fingers. I'm going to go that way. And making it look like it's a dance. It actually looks like they're flinging bodies at each other. Like it's
like they're competing against each other. Yeah.
Yeah. And it impresses me because I actually thought about this. Like, even though we know X-Pac does, get some significant pushes later on in the Attitude Era, I think if he would have stuck with the 1-2-3 persona and like grew on it a little bit more, you could say he grew from 1-2-3 Kid to X-Pac and stuff. But like, if he was still that green baby face, I think he would have went somewhere. Not saying that he didn't go anywhere with X-Pac. It's just, I feel like he would have a different main event feel a little bit.
Maybe it's kind of hard to say because, like, I think his run there ended in like late 95 or no, it was 96. I think it was late 96 when his run ended there. Because NWO didn't happen until 96. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah,
that's when he showed up as back. 6. Get it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you add 1, 2, and 3 together, what's it make? 6. Fucking stupid. No, like here's the thing about his 6 run. It's like, do you remember anything that he did when he was 6?
No, I truly don't remember him. Period. In NWO and WCW.
Like, I know he was there, and I know he did shit like he wore a singlet that had the word thug on it.
Yes.
And I like that's all I remember. And I remember he had like cruiserweight matches or some shit, and like he would be like a little asshole. But like that's all.
I think that's just Uncle Eric being like, "Shut up, kid. Get in the cruiserweight division." Even though like WCW did great with the cruiserweight division, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I've heard Sean talk about like his time in WCW and how it wasn't actually all that good for him. Like he ended up not really enjoying his time there.
Hence why he came back to DX. So
yeah, so like I don't know, it's hard to say. Like, could it have been different? Would it? You could argue he went away for a while and they missed him, and he came back and he had a different look and shit, and maybe he got over better that way because of that. It's hard to say.
Maybe Vince. I mean, judging by this match, by the way, I also had the same thing where I was like, wow, this is way too fast to do shit. But, there was a lot of headlocks, a lot of reversing suplexes. I believe there was a German suplex at some point.
Yeah. Remember, modern fans hate headlocks. They hate rest holds, unless they call them rest holds. Even though nobody in the business ever called it a rest hold. Just want to throw that out there. But no, I mean, like, they were trading holds and stuff. And I think Kid hit like a really sweet leg lariat. I remember that. That was like in the beginning part of the match. And it was like a lot of back and forth, and it was modern style. Like, it's not, maybe that's not the modern, well, it is sort of. Like, if you watch WWE programming, they still kind of wrestle this way with like the guys that can work like that. Like Rollins and, Finn Balor and AJ Styles and stuff. Not like, I mean, there's guys in AEW that will work that style too, but there's very few of them, like Bryan Danielson and like, I don't know who else really after that.
Well, MJF does a lot of headlocks and stuff, and
he wrestles slower though. He wrestles at a slower pace.
Yeah, but
like Owen and 1-2-3 Kid were wrestling like, honestly, probably what was like the Japanese international style, like on TV.
Yeah, it was like Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. type of stuff going on.
Yeah, I didn't see that match, but I can kind of imagine what it looked like.
Yeah, it was probably like fast as shit, a lot of holds, and then a lot of submissions and stuff. Which, again, I don't understand why people hate that stuff. I think it's challenging to see people in holds and submissions compared to, I'm gonna do a springboard into a sunset Canadian destroyer and backbreaker, and it's just like, these guys are not gonna get past 40 years old with like a back.
No, your spine will turn to sawdust. But I mean, holds are important because it's like, hey, this is wrestling, and I don't know. Sometimes those guys try to do a headlock and they do it wrong or it's shitty or like whatever. The guys that almost never put on any holds.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. That's not really like we're talking like they did a ton of holds. They didn't really, like Owen kind of did because he's the heel and he's trying to slow Kid down. But Owen would like bust out a bunch of shit on his own too. Like, he got to be the bully in this match too, which is really interesting because, like, he's average size. He's like same size as like Sean and Brett and stuff. So like, and it's just like, okay, when Brett fought Kid, he wasn't really bullying him per se, but like he was definitely more dominant because of his size. And like in Owen's case, he was bullying him, and you don't really get to see Owen do that.
It's funny with the Brett family, the Hart family. They love to like throw themselves into the turnbuckles because Owen Hart did one too, and I was like, "That's fucking awesome."
His is honestly just as good as Brett's is. It's like the same.
Yeah, it looks
like,
devastating.
Yeah, it's like his soul left his body when he took that turnbuckle.
I just love like the Hart family. They sell a match, like even though whoever they're wrestling. Like as scrawny as 1-2-3 Kid looks, like Owen Hart like threw himself into the turnbuckle.
Yeah, and he still made it look like, you know, the 1-2-3 Kid can hurt him and actually, like, you know, like he can win. I mean, at this point, I don't know that it's as much as surprise anymore when 1-2-3 Kid wins a match, because like now you could argue he's like a upper middle card baby face probably. And it's like he's kind of like Rey Mysterio a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
When it's like he's always at this disadvantage physically, so he's always like naturally the underdog.
And it's like Rey Mysterio versus Batista. Like realistically, if like a little man didn't know how to fight, like Batista would like kill him.
God, you mean like James Ellsworth or some fuck like that?
Yeah. That no chin fuck. I did laugh because Owen used a rear chin lock after he used the neck breaker, and Vince calls it a back breaker. And I was like,
Vince sometimes fucks up the verbiage of like the move, confuse something.
I think actually Macho Man is like, I think that's a neck breaker.
Yeah, neck breaker, Vince. Great neck breaker, by the way. Great swinging neck breaker.
Yes.
I don't really have any other notes about the whole match other than like the finish, like what happened in the finish there. It's just great though. Just watch it. It's kind of like it wasn't as good as Brett and Owen, or not Brett and Owen. It's not as good as that match either. It's Brett and 1-2-3 Kid, but it's still like a really good TV match in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There was a DQ when Owen goes for a top rope knee drop and he misses. And Owen's like, fuck, and he like rolls over and shit. And then Kid puts him in a half crab, and it looks like he's gonna submit him because he can't get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anvil just comes in and he breaks his submission up, and it causes a DQ.
Dude, like I was like, I don't know. I felt like the Hart family for a second because I was laughing that 1-2-3 Kid was getting fucking owned again, and then like Jim Neidhart was like, I wouldn't say like pushing the refs, throwing the refs. Like
he was just tossing them around.
Yeah, then Vince is like, that's gonna be a suspension.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, maybe this is, you know, 1-2-3 Kid's still like the baby face, but like he's always getting beat up. Like after he beat Jeff Jarrett and shit. Like that's when he like took like 4 pile drivers and stuff, and then later on came back. You know, to whatever match was later on. I forgot what event that was. I think that was Raw. I don't remember. But here he is again, just getting his ass whooped. I mean, Bret Hart beat his ass, but he was like a baby face. So he's like, "You did good, kid."
Good job, yeah. Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so, what did you rate this match?
I gave it a good 7.9 out of 10.
Oh, okay. I gave it a 7.4.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there. We're in the range.
Not an 8, but not a low 7 for me. All right, so let's see what we got.
SummerSlam report.
Yeah, he still looked weird, whatever he was wearing. I didn't think of like a comparison I can give for him in this one.
Why? I just really want to know why he's doing like the one earring thing. Because he cannot fucking pull it off. Because like remember the stereotype back then of that?
Mm-hmm.
Which was like, look, this isn't meant to be offensive. This is just what people thought back then. It was like, if you had one ear pierced and you were a guy, you were gay.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, he really looks the part.
He looks like I almost said a derogatory. Back in the times, people still say today, you know what? Fuck it. He looked like a dyke.
He looked like a little light in loafers, brother.
Yeah.
And like, okay, look, here's an example of somebody that pulled it off, and it didn't make people think that. Austin had one ear pierced for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And that thought never crossed your mind though.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Shawn Michaels, and I was like, wait a second, the crowd called him gay.
The crowd straight up called Shawn gay multiple times. So, that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
But I was just like, he was just updating us. We know the whole card now. They revealed it to us last Raw. Then there was a promo from Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. He was like talking about the MLB strike that was taking place back then, I guess.
Yeah.
And he was like, just the fans, it was the fans' fault that they were striking. That's what the promo was. And I just like looked at this guy though, and like you've seen this guy in like various video packages where people, or like videos people put together on YouTube where they make WWE had like a period where they did shitty occupational gimmicks, and they'll always show like this guy or Fantasio or fucking Duke the Dumpster Droze, the garbage man wrestler.
Yeah.
TL Hopper, the plumber. And like this guy is just like, what the fuck is he supposed to be? Is he like a reject from the baseball gang from the Warriors? Like, the fuck?
I don't know, because he played it off like he was a player. I don't know if you listened to his promo and stuff. He like acted like
I did. And yeah, he did try to sell himself like he was a player. And I'm like, so is this like how there was the writer's strike and then John Cena and The Rock showed back up? They're like, I'm bored. I have nothing to do. So I'll come to wrestling. So like, did Abe Knuckleball Schwartz decide I can't play baseball because we're striking right now? So I guess I'll go beat people up.
Yeah, I guess, because like I think of Double J too, because like he wants to be a music star, but he like
the politics of Music City has forced his hand to become a wrestler.
Yeah, so like what went into Vince's mind where he's like, was he trying to connect with like people? Is that the thing? Like he's like, people have jobs. It'd be pretty cool to have job gimmicks.
I don't know what his motivation was behind the job gimmick shit, but with this baseball character, I think Vince also likes to play on current events.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Vince just thought, we'll make a baseball guy and talk about the strike, pal, and it'll be funny.
They could have like made him like cooler. Instead, he just looks like a reject, like a fan that's in the crowd that puts like the face makeup on. Or the whole body, and they're just cheering and drunk out of their mind while having a hot dog in the stadium. Like, that's what I look at with this guy. Like, they could have just, like, I don't know, called him Slugger or whatever.
Slugger. See, they should have done what I just said. They should have made him like a Baseball Furies reject. Like, I said that jokingly, but like, no, have this guy dressed up like a baseball player, and he paints his face. Not like that. Not like his face is a fucking baseball. That's stupid. Make him, make him paint his face like the guys did from the Warriors. And then he's just like a crazy asshole who likes to beat people up, and he'll use his baseball bat on you and fuck you up. And like, he'll think like kind of like heel Doink. Like except he's a crazy baseball player, and he's not playing tricks. He's just some insane guy who likes baseball and will beat the fuck out of you.
I would also have done something like, a person that never made baseball, or like a team, because he's
pissed. He wants revenge.
Yeah, so he's like, good. I'm glad that they're on strike. And like he like plays with the crowds because people love sports and stuff.
We could combine these two ideas and make it like one gimmick.
Yeah.
that better explains why he's crazy, because he's like a failed baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
See, we just did this better. The fuck?
Instead, they fucked it up.
And there's not much else to say about it, because it was kind of like a bad promo. Honestly, it was just like lame.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't fuck up and like say something fucking stupid or anything. It was just boring.
He didn't say like any catchphrase. Like they struck out.
He didn't even fucking say. He didn't even make a baseball phrase. Like, come on, I'm not even a baseball guy. And I was like, come on, you didn't even say fucking safe or something. Like, you're out. See, he hit the guy with the baseball bat. You're out. And then like that guy's literally out cold.
Yep.
God.
Oh man, but it's time to get into some first job gimmicks, I guess. Besides the baseball guy, Duke the Dumpster Jersey versus Nick Barberi.
I thought his name was Barbarian.
I have it here as Barberi.
Maybe it was Barbarian. Maybe Macho Man called him a barbarian like once and it stuck. I swear to God they said barbarian. But Nick Barberi, okay. There's okay. Nick Barberi looks like Default Call 2 on SmackDown. Just bring it.
Yes.
That's literally what that dude looked like. I'm not even fucking kidding. Like he had like a generic ass buzz cut and like he had a generic ass fucking face and a body with like no definition, but he was like bigger than an average guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like the singlet, like the full, like the Kurt Angle-esque singlet, but it was all black and he had like a little green accent. And he had white boots. I'm just like, this guy looks like Default Call 2. That's what he looks like. Say what you want about Duke the Dumpster Drose. At least he looks like a guy.
He does like look, good for a wrestler and stuff. But
he's got long hair. He's got some personality. He's got some fire to him. Like he fucking leveled that guy with a clothesline. It was like, holy shit.
He's got a little hardcore fucking garbage can there with him.
See, that's the ECW version of him. He's like, I'm the fucking trash man. And he comes out and he has like, I don't know who did that first, or they came out with the shopping cart full of shit. Was it Sandman or was it New Jack?
I always thought it was Raven too.
Raven did that. But did Raven see? I want to know who did that first now because I actually don't know.
I think it's New Jack, and then it was Sandman, and I think Raven just like, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna use this gimmick.
He better have asked him first.
Probably did. Probably at least. Probably New Jack, not the Sandman. He just got drunk and just fucked off.
I don't know. Use it if you want. Fuck it. Just don't steal any of my other shit. It's probably what he fucking told him.
But other than that, like, I do like his finisher, by the way. He yells out, "Time to put out the trash," and he does.
I swear to God, I thought you were gonna say "time to dump." I don't know why.
And then he does a corkscrew elbow drop, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's a cool move for a big guy, because he's a big guy too. He's not like, he's like 6'4" he looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big guy.
That was a squash.
Yeah, that was a squash. And then we find out that the guy who's supposed to get to the bottom of the Undertaker mystery is Leslie Nielsen.
I was a little bit happy, but a little bit like rolling my eyes, like, it's another gimmick thing.
His little segment was funny, though. I'll give him that. It was actually pretty funny. Like he was like at a pool, and then like this kid, he was talking. I don't remember it now because it's been a week because we had to delay because of like personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the kid was saying something to him, and basically the kid was smarter than he was. It was a Leslie Nielsen gag. He plays an old buffoon.
Yeah, it's like, what if you're the imposter, and like there was another Leslie Nielsen.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because they're playing with the fact that there's two Undertakers, and yeah. And then Vince plugs the SummerSlam hotline, which I always find funny because right over the number it says not a phone number anymore.
Not a valid phone number anymore. It's like, who the fuck is going to see this and think, I'll call this number from this commercial from 1994? And I don't even think there's 900 numbers anymore, like even.
I don't know, but people eat Tide Pods, so I guess they have to do that.
They had to make them less appetizing.
Yeah.
So they changed it to blue and green instead of blue and orange.
I still like that they use like 90s font to put over it.
Yeah, at least they did that.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed in gimmick.
Yeah.
And then up next was Quang versus Tony Roy. Now, do you remember who Quang is?
Yeah, he's Sabio Vega.
Okay. I still remember when Quang first appeared. I was like, "Who is Quang?" And like nobody knew. Like it's Savio. But Tony Roy has pubes for hair.
Yep.
And then Quang kills him with a spinning heel kick squash. Not much to say.
And Harry Whippleman was with him, by the way.
Old Harvey.
Yeah, Harvey, not Harry. I'm sorry.
Harry Whippleman. Then we got King's Court time. Is that what you got?
Are you digging the King's Court stuff?
It's mixed for me. It depends on what's going on. Like,
yeah,
this one was better because they had a point to it. It was to hype the Undertaker match and, try to pick on Paul Bearer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great because Paul Bearer was like being real over the top and crazy this time. It was awesome. Like, honestly, this is probably the best part of the show besides the Owen Hart 1, 2, 3 kid match.
Yes, I agree with that.
It was like anytime anybody does a Paul Bearer impression, this is what they're doing. They're doing the they're freaking out and everything. My Undertaker is real. He said, what did he say? I can see the evil in your eyes. Oh, like I can't do my impression as good anymore because I'm getting over like a weird cold or something I've had for like a week. But
well, the first thing that happened was number one, Lawler calls Vincent Savage 2 airbags of the WWF, which I thought was funny. And then DiBiase tells he has the real Undertaker, and he brings out the fake Undertaker.
No, that's the real Undertaker because Ted DiBiase brought the Undertaker to us to begin with.
Yeah, and
so he's the real one.
And then Paul Bearer comes out, and then he's like having a conniption and stuff.
It was really funny though because he was really focused on the fact that this fake Undertaker was like evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but the Undertaker was evil for 2 years before he turned babyface.
I feel like Vince like sat down and it's like, well, I got Ted DiBiase here. Who are you going to be managing? The Undertaker. That's cool, but who's the Undertaker facing?
Well, the Undertaker, pal.
Yeah, and then they're just like, well, how are we going to do 2 heels fighting each other?
The Undertaker's not heel. Remember, he died for everyone's sins at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that he cured hunger.
He carries. No one deserves to starve to death. Like, oh man! But like the best part was when he got the Undertaker to attack Paul Bearer, like he was going to choke slam him, and then the Undertaker's dong happened.
Yeah,
and then it blacked out, and then Paul was outside the ring cackling maniacally. So like the Undertaker's magic saved him, I guess. It was great segment.
I love that segment. The second best part of the night. Raw's been doing this weird thing. Well, I guess when we get to the Jeff Jarrett match, I'll save my comments on that. But the next match was Mabel with Oscar versus Raymond Roy. Fucking what a name.
Fucking his gear sucks too. Like everybody who does vertical stripes, it fucking sucks. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Granted, I haven't seen anybody with vertical stripes ring gear since, I don't think. So somebody finally figured it out. But now the cool thing to do is to have really fucking shitty tattoos all over your body.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. I think I'd rather see the vertical stripes.
So Vince is cackling because Savage jokes about being afraid of the dark, then yells, "Oh yeah!"
Oh yeah! I think it's how he said it. Even
Yeah, and this is
this
weird.
man should have been the Kool-Aid man for a little bit.
But Mabel is so over, man. Like Mabel and Oscar is like so over because
Men on a Mission is over.
Mm-hmm. Well, is Mabel on his own now at this point?
Yeah, I don't know where Mo is. It's kind of weird. He's been gone for maybe he's hurt. But that's cool because this might be how Vince comes up with his idea to push Mabel more as a single.
Mm-hmm.
He did pretty good in this little squash match here, though. He's doing cool shit. He did the Mr. Perfect neck snap. Fucking Mabel.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Like I said, what out loud? I was like, I didn't even know he could do that. Like, what the hell?
Man, Mabel could. I think if he would have lost a little bit of weight, Mabel, like he could have been a little bit more agile.
If only he didn't sit on Kevin Nash's back when he told him not to.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we fucking see that.
Yeah.
But he finished Roy though with a second rope elbow drop, which that's a big move for a big guy like that. Yeah, we've seen Vader do the fucking moonsault and shit. That's fucking Vader though.
Yeah, Vader's more agile and that's more muscle.
Yeah, Vader's like a freak of nature. So Mabel's just like a fairly athletically gifted fat guy.
It's like fucking pounds of flubber just fucking landing on you.
You know, we see Bam Bam does like the top rope headbutt.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just he's like, okay, it's like if Yokozuna did an elbow drop. Like that's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, where's that match? How come Mabel and Yokozuna never happened?
That would have been interesting.
I feel like Vince would have really wanted to do that. Maybe he did, and I just don't remember it.
It was a house show or something.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Because I could totally see being like Madison Square Garden, Yokozuna versus Mabel.
Two behemoths. Because that's how Vince says behemoths.
2 slabs of meat.
No, the beef thing didn't happen till later.
Yeah.
the weird gay undertones of people want to see beef. Like it's so strange.
Yeah.
Squash.
Yes. They were doing this. This is where I wanted to make the comment. Like, it always seems like at the end of the show, the last match is like gets the shit end of the stick of like timing, because as Mabel was leaving, like Jeff Jarrett was like messing with him a little bit.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He came out and he was fucking with him.
Mm-hmm.
So we were seeing like country music and rap like clash. Like before Jeff Jarrett did the I hate rap thing.
Yeah.
Right here. We're seeing the genesis of it.
But he's facing Scott Taylor.
Which is a Scotty Too Hottie.
Yes.
So I don't got much to say about this either because it's squash, but Jeff is good heel. He was healing up the whole time since he first came out there. He beats Taylor with a figure 4. That's all I got.
I just wrote woo. And Jeff Jarrett does that strut. Who invented the strut, by the way?
So his strut's different from Flair's though, because he does the piece. He does the Nixon at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Flair. See, I'm wondering if somebody did it before Flair. Like, did Buddy Rogers do it before Ric Flair?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where Nature Boy came from. Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. Did he have a strut?
I can't wait until the infamous Scott Steiner shitting on saying that fucking the Nature Boy. He's like, God rest his soul. He's dead.
Wow. Yeah, man. Oh,
yeah.
Scott Steiner with a live mic. I remember when that was like an advertise, like that was something you needed to advertise.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look this up though. It's gonna bother me. I need to look up some Buddy Rogers footage and figure it out.
Yeah. Oscar comes back and raps, and Jeff Jarrett is like saying he's doing like the chicken motion because they won't come in the ring.
Yeah, he hates rap, and he's saying they're cowards.
Yeah, and then it just signs off. Such a weird sign off. I don't know.
It was kind of strange, but that's how Raw is right now. It's like they front load the show, and then the show just kind of peters out usually.
Like, I wonder if more matches happen after that. Like, I wonder if they're just like, that's not the ending. This is like dark matches. I wonder if they did any.
Yeah, because the way they used to do Raw was it wasn't live. I mean, it was live those couple times that they said they were live.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly it was a taped show, like all the way up to like 96 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember when they made it live all the time, but yeah, what they used to do was they'd tape Raw for like a month, like 1 month's worth of tapings in like that building or some shit.
Yeah. Anyway, what'd you give the show as a whole?
I gave it a 7 out of 10 because, like, we're like, oh, squash matches, that's dumb baseball guy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the Owen and 1-2-3 Kid match was like the majority of the show.
Yeah.
And it was good. And then there was the good segment, the King's Court, which was with Ted DiBiase and Paul Bearer and Jerry Lawler and all that. And that was a little bit of time there too. But it was actually entertaining, even though it was like silly. So there wasn't really anything bad on the show other than like some of these fucking jobbers they get. It's just the way they look and everything.
Well, even the squash matches, I was like, it's cool. Like, they're just
like the Mabel squash was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it was Jeff Jarrett against Scott Taylor, who's a decent worker, even though he's a jobber right now.
Yeah, and we never get to see Jeff Jarrett a lot as far as like in the ring, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, so I gave it a 7. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 7.2 out of 10. I pretty much have the same sentiments of the first match, the main event first match. Is just amazing to see. Always saying that, hey, they did high flying better than what high flying is today in modern wrestling. And that
it's not high flying. It's like high risk of injuring yourself. Like,
yeah, like I would have, like, it's interesting because I'm going to go on a little tangent here, which we'll probably talk about later if we have time. You know, Edge talking to Darby Allin and stuff, and Darby Allin being like, I want to know about you spearing off of ladders and going through tables. And I'm just like, man, like, if I was Edge, I'd be like, so you want to die at like a young age? Like, is that
so
what
you
want?
also want to develop spinal stenosis?
Yeah. It's like they should be looking at these type of matches in 94 with Owen Hart versus 1-2-3 Kid and being like, this is what we should be doing instead of what we are doing.
See, here's the thing about Darby, and this is why I don't get as pissed off at him anymore about it, because this is my thing with him. He's like Mick Foley. Like, he figured out, like, I don't even know if this is true or like he said this is just what I think. This is like his mindset. He figured out early on, like, I'm this really small guy. What can I do to like actually get over? Like, what can I, and that's what a lot of people's mindset is now. I have to do a bunch of insane shit to get over.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about Darby's insane shit is it's typically not really that dangerous to anybody but himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like what Mick Foley would do. Like, all his high impact kind of risks he would take was always just insane shit that would hurt him more than anybody else.
Yeah, it's like, you know, we always bring it up because everybody brings it up. The Hell in Cell match versus The Undertaker. Like, you literally had The Undertaker being like, I'm going to do what to you? Throw me off, brother. Throw me off.
Dude, I don't want to do this. He's like, just do it. Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, as much as it like probably affected Mick Foley mentally and physically, which it did physically, by the way, where you see the teeth in his nose, and broken back probably, and ribs, is like it also did a mental thing to him as well. So he did it for the business, and I totally see Darby doing that. But at the same time, I'm just like, you're young, man. Like I seen somebody rock bottom him off of the top of the turnbuckle. I'm just like, you're gonna like, you're gonna have broken bones,
paralyzed before 40.
Yeah, and you know what? He'd probably still wrestle in a wheelchair because he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, see, he'd still figure out a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I guess we got to talk about this show.
The sunglasses are coming back.
Yeah. WCW Clash of Champions 28, August 24th, 1994. Oh.
And we start off with a doozy. Got Nasty Boys versus Pretty Wonderful.
I hate the Nasty Boys at this point.
See, I don't hate them. It's just like they keep putting them in like these matches that are just like nobody fucking gives a shit about because they don't give a shit about the tag division right now.
Where is Marcus Alexander Bagwell and fucking Scorpio? Not Scorpio. Too Cold Scorpio?
Marcus is still there. Scorpio might be in
Gone.
Japan or hurt. So I'm not sure which it is yet.
Because it's like there's only 3 tag teams at this point now, it seems like, where it's like Pretty Wonderful, the Nasty Boys, and usually be like Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Too Cold Scorpio. And I guess you could throw in the Cold Twins, but like, fuck, I don't think the Cold Twins would be in a fucking tag team championship match.
Cactus Jack and Kevin Sullivan.
And yeah, him too. or Max Payne, if you want to, be, because that's what the original fucking tag team was until Kevin Sullivan's dumb brother.
I can't think about Max Payne and not think about that guitar shot ever again. Like every time I think about him, I don't think about his dumbass pajamas you always made fun of him for, or like his weird ass fucking wardrobe. I think of him atomizing that motherfucker with a guitar every single time he comes to mind.
I think it would have been funny if, like, after he hit him with the guitar, that guy like has brain damages. Like he gets like broken. Almost. That
was one of the Nasties too. I think I don't remember which one it was, but that's who he did it to.
It was not the blonde one; it was the other one.
Oh, it's Sags.
Yeah.
Okay. It was great. I don't have much to say about this match. It's meh. It was a brawl, but a controlled one.
Nasties are the nasty. I almost said the Nasty Bros. The Nasty Boys are like the baby faces in this. It's weird.
Yeah, I guess they're baby face now because these fight guys. Roma splashed Knobs, and then Sags elbow dropped Orndorff, and the ref counts for Sags' pin. Like this happened at the same time. That was the finish.
Yeah.
And it was like confusing. Like I actually don't remember who was legal. Like,
and I think I think Tony Schiavone didn't know who was legal either.
They fucking lost track as well. It was a non-title match too, by the way. Like at first it wasn't even until like the match was the middle way through.
Yeah, what is this bullshit? Match. Why do you have an event called Clash of Champions and there was multiple non-title matches in this event?
There were champions clashing in that match. They just didn't put their title up for grabs.
So stupid.
like they met the criteria. There are champions clashing in a fight. I don't got anything else to say about this. I'm kind of tired of the tag division of WCW. It's just like bullshit. It's like
it's boring.
Don't care.
It's like it's like this is an AEW match most of the time, tag team match in '94.
Yeah, it's like the opposite though. Like you know how like they do so much stupid shit, you just zone out and you just don't fucking care because there's like no logic. This is like so boring, and there's not enough. Like they clearly don't give a fuck about what's going on. Like this is just to fill time. That you check out and zone out for the other reason.
It's like when you show up at a doctor appointment at the right time, but you still wait about fucking 40 minutes.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That's how. And I there was a part where Knobs yelled out "nasty," and then the crowd goes fucking mild.
Yeah.
I guess your baby faces now. Woo.
So what'd you score this?
I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Man, I'm gonna adjust my score. I feel like it was a little higher. Because after I don't remember it. It's like kind of bullshit.
It's like Paul Orndorff, I respect, but at the same time, you have fucking Roma being like stupid and stuff, and it's weird. It's like he's trying to have charisma, Roma, but he just can't do it. It's almost like fucking Christian Bale in American Psycho, where he's like being fake and stuff and trying to.
You see what I'm saying though? Like, yeah, you get those vibes.
Yeah,
there's something there, but that time's come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a 4.3 because like nothing bad happened in this match. It wasn't like a bad match. It was just boring because you don't fucking care about any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Paul Roma's there, and he's as CM Chaz would say, he's a black hole charisma that couldn't manage a target, and like he can't manage getting over either. So
yeah. Speaking of Pasta Mania,
oh my god, this shit.
Hulk Hogan has a hotline, brother.
The Hulkamania hotline.
Yeah. I you know what? I bet you a lot of Hulkamaniacs were like fucking calling up that number like crazy.
They probably were, because like despite the fact that we're ragging on Hogan, he's over right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that welcome's gonna wear out.
And I bet Linda got all that hotline money in a divorce.
Oh fuck! Listen to this. You could do Hulk trivia, Hulk challenges. What the fuck is that? And hear one of his famous Hulk messages. That's the verbiage that they used. And I want to know what a Hulk message is. Is that like a promo? Does he just cut a promo on you?
Probably.
What's a Hulk challenge? Does he challenge you to like take your vitamins? Or like, is that it?
Well, when did the Pasta Mania happen? What year?
Oh fuck! I feel like it's this year, 94.
Maybe he had a challenge. Listen up, crazy brother. I got a Pasta Mania and pasta meatballs for you. Hulk balls. If you could eat the whole bowl, you'll get a sticker, brother.
I'm trying to see right now when he opened it, but like nobody's spitting out any dates. They're just talking about Lola. It was funny. It flopped. I know that.
You know what? It's probably like Hulk challenges is like you call up Hulk Hogan's on the phone, right? And like or pre-recorded, which would trick like the kids, whatever. Listen, brother, I want you to do 100 push-ups. Then you'd be like me, brother. And that's a challenge, probably.
How many days in a year did I wrestle at my peak, brother? And they're going to say 365. Wrong. It's 378, brother, because of Japan, because of the time.
Or like Hulk trivia is like, brother, when I met Harley Race, and it's like a multiple choice question, like,
oh my
God. What did Harley Race do? Slap me in the face, give me a hug, or set the ring on fire and point the gun at me?
And thanked me for everything I ever did for the business.
Yeah.
Fuck. This hotline was $1.49 per minute.
Jesus, fuck. For 90s? Jesus.
In 94, that's a fuck ton of money. Most 900 numbers weren't that high, I remember. Like, they were usually like 79 cents per minute or something like that.
You know, there's probably like one older Mark, like, he's like, I have all the money in the world. I'm an adult. I'm going to be on the phone for an hour with you.
You mean Dave Meltzer?
Yeah.
He hated Hogan. I mean, we like to make fun of Hogan and everything, but like he did do some shit. I mean, we can't take that away from him. So, but then Mean Gene introduces Hulk Hogan for an interview as the most awesome force in WCW history, and I'm like, wow, you just shit on the legacy of this entire promotion. Like you just said, Hulk Hogan eclipses Ric Flair. I mean, obviously in the book he's eclipsing Ric Flair. Dusty Rhodes, he's more of a force than Sting, Vader, Lex Luger. Just, it's like, damn. It's like you're just saying, you know what? Everything before this just doesn't even fucking matter. It was irrelevant. Hulk Hogan's here now.
Yeah.
I know that's not really how they were thinking about it. No, that's not probably how anybody was really thinking about it back then, except for like diehard fans of the promotion, probably.
Yeah, when you look at it hindsight now and knowing about all the fucked up politics that Hulk Hogan did, like, yeah, like we look at it and be like, yeah, fuck this guy. You can see the fuck. And then like back then they were just like, man, we got Hulk Hogan. Like, that's big. In WCW.
He got Hulk. I mean, he was the face of wrestling for like over a decade, I guess. So, okay. But he's doing a Hulk Hogan promo, brother, and then a guy in a ski mask attacks him from behind with like a pipe or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
He hits him in the back of the knee. He's like, oh, brother! And he falls over and he can't fucking get up. And then the whole segment turns into like a clusterfuck. And Gene's like, yelling, get him help, get him out. He's like, get him help, get him out of here. He's like getting mad. And like, and at the same time, he's like harassing everybody trying to help Hogan. He's like, what's going on? What's going on? Get him out of here. It's like, make your mind up. Like, what do you want? This, it was fine. Like the segment was fine, but it took way too long. Like,
yeah.
They dwelled on it too long. Like,
and I also saw like the writing on the wall before we get to the main event. Like, oh, so something's going to happen. Like, either A, he's going to lose the title and he's going to blame it on, the knee being fucked up, or, something crazy will happen, which we will get to it later.
Yeah, something crazy does happen. But
mm-hmm.
Then we got Ricky Steamboat versus Stunning Steve Austin, a champion, for the United States Championship that's actually on the line.
Yes.
And they show us the ambulances leaving as the entrances are happening for this match. I'm like, God damn it. They're going to do this shit where they keep interrupting the show to give us updates. And like, that's okay to do that. But they do it way too much in this fucking show.
You see Uncle Eric a lot in this segment.
Like, the Hogan angle dominates the airtime of the show. Like, I felt like it was too much, honestly.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, we're having this match, but fucking Hulk Hogan is dying.
Yeah, like he's dying, brother.
Yeah.
When he dies, all the color will leave this world.
Yeah.
Like, it's the way they were fucking treating it or some shit.
That would actually been funny if, like, I know it would have never been iconic like the NWO, but like, imagine like he loses faith in wrestling and comes back as a heel.
What?
Everybody hates me.
He lost faith in wrestling because a guy attacked him.
Yeah.
That's kind of par for the course for Hogan, though. He's been attacked his whole career. Yeah, this Hogan distraction interrupts this match throughout, and it sucks because it takes away from it, because this is a good match.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a stipulation too: if Austin gets disqualified, he'll lose the title. And then Heenan was like being hilarious about during all this. He's talking about how he wouldn't. I don't care if Hogan never wrestled again because nobody cared when he was down. When I was down and out, like because he's like wearing the neck brace and shit like right now.
Yeah.
And he's being fucking hilarious the whole night because he's like freaking out about something. He's like, "Oh, my neck!" Like he keeps like holding. It's kind of like it reminds me of Roddy doing the neck brace thing right now, which is like amazing. Oh, my neck's bad, but I'm still going to wrestle. And then he's like, oh, I'm done. Oh, my neck. He puts it back on. Shit.
But it's. I wish we had more of Steve Austin versus Ricky Steamboat in like later on in a career. Like, did they ever face in WWF a little bit?
No, because this is Ricky Steamboat's last match.
Oh, really?
This is the match that caused him to retire.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was this match because I remember seeing the footage of it, like and I remember Austin had the Dragon Slayer trunks, and I remember Steamboat had his green dragon tights, which is like really unusual, like color scheme for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember those details weirdly, and because I never knew it was from the DVD. Like WWE put out a DVD about Ricky Steamboat's career and shit back then, and I was like, I don't know that much about this guy. And that's how I learned a lot about him was off that DVD. And I was like, oh wow, that's how his career ended. Okay, that's just always stuck in my mind. And it was over like something real simple, like how that kind of shit usually is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I got it wrote down here in the match where it happened. I remembered the exact spot.
Okay.
So they're doing like cool sequences and stuff. Like Austin's trying to run away on the outside, and Steamboat runs in the opposite direction and cuts him off. And then Austin tries to run back in the ring, and he switches directions, and he gets a sleeper on. But then Steamboat shoots him off and reverses into his own sleeper. Like, it's cool. Like, they're chasing each other and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot of back and forth wrestling between the two of them. Like, nobody has, like, a real clear advantage for, like, a long time over the other guy. It's, like, it's wrestled more like they're kind of even.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the spot happens, where Steamboat injures his back. He's got Austin on the top turnbuckle, and like Steamboat was trying to do like a superplex or something. And then Austin headbutts him, and it's, Steamboat sells. He goes, oh, and he like kind of delays and he falls down.
Mm-hmm.
And when he fell off of there, he like kind of landed on his ass. And so it's like from that height up on the top or middle rope, he fell on his ass, and he like rolled over and clutched his back like after he did that. So like he like compressed his spine, and it's just one of those freak things where it's just like you landed the wrong way, your back had fucking enough of it finally, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had to get like a fusion.
It's like, it's kind of funny, not funny. It's like, when a person knows that their career is over, it seems like a lot of wrestlers today, and also in the past as well, that just like, fuck it, I'm going to go through it.
Yeah, like in that case, you can't even really tell that he's hurt. Like, if I didn't know all that information beforehand when I watched this match,
Mm-hmm.
I would have had no idea, like, that's the match that caused him to end his career, because he kind of pushed through it anyway. And like I was watching, like, is he like really hurt? And you can't even really tell.
So does he drop the belt back to Steve Austin?
No. So this is what happens. We'll finish this real quick.
Okay.
Steamboat hooks Austin with an inside cradle from a body slam attempt for 3. So he reversed that and won the title, which was surprising. Now that I know that, I'm wondering if like that was supposed to be the finish or not. Like, did he just call an audible? Like, my back's fucked. I'm like, let me just roll you up real quick. He's like, okay, brother. And that was it. But good times end here for Steamboat. he won the title. He was off on injury because of his back. And in the following month of September, he was fired by Eric Bischoff via FedEx. And yeah, I don't know what they did with the title after that. Like, he was still a champion, I think. No, I think, hang on, if I remember right, I think he like gave it up like the week after.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, I can't retain, so I'm hurt. Here it is. And they probably have like a tournament or some shit. But I didn't know that I forgot all about that shit where he got fired via FedEx, and it's like that's not the first person that's happened to.
It's kind of amazing because, again, looking in hindsight, you fired Steve Austin, which he went on a path to become Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Bischoff just didn't see it. And to his credit, he admits, like, I just didn't see it. At the time, that's not what it. I just didn't see that potential, and that was a mistake.
I don't think like he would have been at the height as he was today, Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, because the anger that Eric Bischoff did to Stone Cold, that's what led him to ECW when he had that amazing promo when he was still hurt, by the way, because Paul Heyman's like, well, you're hurt, we can do fucking promos. And that's when he did that amazing promo. And then he had his ECW run, and then that's when he went into WWF and had his fucking amazing, run. And
his amazing business-changing run.
Yeah, and I think if Eric Bischoff kept him, he would never be that, because that anger would not be there.
He would have just been like a guy. It was always real clear, like, except for how whoever's regime it was that saw something in him for that brief period of time.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really know what to do with him. They just thought that guy's a good worker. And that's kind of like, I guess, all they really saw in it.
Yeah.
But that's such a really inglorious end for such like an instrumental like talent for like that promotion. Mm-hmm. Ricky Steamboat. They're like, no, we're going to fire you via FedEx. Fuck it. That's like, what the hell? You couldn't take care of him. Say like, you want to do like a backstage role? Like, nope. I'm just gonna send you a fucking shitty letter via FedEx, letting you know you're fired. It's just, it kind of pisses me off.
And that's how Eric Bischoff does. It's kind of funny because when you listen to 83 Weeks, the podcast, like Uncle Eric tries to have like a tough guy talk a little bit. But I'm like, you can never fire these guys in front of their faces. So, like, are you really a tough guy?
He's like Tony Khan. He never fires any. Well, he fired CM Punk because he was advised by legal.
Well, there's a big difference. Like, you have Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and all the big guys. Like, I could see like Uncle Eric being like, I was fearing for my life. But like,
in their case, sure. And then you got Scott Steiner actually beating people's fucking asses backstage too.
Yeah, and then then you have Tony Khan, who's afraid of fucking CM Punk, who couldn't win fucking 2 fist fight matches.
Hey, he won the fist fights that mattered. So
I guess you're right.
But no, I mean, like, Tony Khan does the same thing most of the time, where it's like, if he doesn't like have anything for anybody anymore, he doesn't talk to him. He just kind of like gives them the cold shit. He ghosts them, as the kids call it now. And then just waits until your contract expires. He doesn't even fucking fire you. He just waits till your shit expires and he doesn't talk to you anymore.
It's like Toy Story when Andy didn't want to play with toys anymore.
I don't want to play with you anymore. Like Marco Stunt and like fucking some other loser, Sonny Kiss or whatever, is like falling to the ground.
Yeah.
You can actually do that if you buy their action figures, though.
Yeah. They're cheap now, but some of them. Like there was, I found like a Cody Rhodes AEW action figure, and it was like going for $4. I was like, I should pick it up because it might be worth money a little down the road.
How does it look compared to the WWE one?
Oh, WWE is way better. They know how to make toys.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you give this match?
I'm gonna give it a 7.4 out of 10. The reason why is because these two guys know how to wrestle. And it always looks like a same thing. I'm gonna say for Owen Hart and 1-2-3 Kid. It looks like a competition of wrestling, and Steve Austin being a great heel of him like running around and shit and trying to get away, and then the back and forth holds. I fucking love the jawbreaker, by the way, that Steve Austin did on Steamboat, and. The only thing that brought it down a little bit was the Hulk Hogan interruptions.
If those interruptions weren't there, this probably would have been the best match we saw out of like all this programming.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the way the show went.
Yeah.
I gave it a 7.3, so we're like right there.
Yep. Then they like show more of the segment of like them going into a by the way, they call it a hospital in 94. Not like today.
Vince isn't there.
Yeah.
It's a medical facility, pal.
Yeah. So I don't know. I always try to think like the staff of the hospital, what they're thinking. Like they're doing like this segment of Hulk Hogan like dying because of his knee, while like the nurse and staff is like watching and stuff, probably being like, am I on TV? What the fuck is going on here? And then obviously I have Uncle Eric being like, I need to go check on him, and he goes in there.
Yeah, and they say some shit like about like what's going on too. Like there's like contractual things where it's like if Hogan can't compete, then he has to forfeit the title.
Mm-hmm.
Since when?
They make up rules on the fly here at WCW.
That's a really harsh rule. Like you're not even going to give him like. Typically, there was like the 30-day defense clause, where it's like if you don't defend your title in 30 days, and you're fucking forfeiting your title. Does he not have 29 days to try to recuperate?
Well, then again, we haven't been watching Saturday Night or whatever other WCW show is, so maybe 30 days did pass, or at least.
Yeah, we don't know if it's still illegal to be thrown over the top rope to the outside anymore. I think it's not anymore. So, I lost track of it because we don't have that stupid finish anymore, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
There was a segment before that where like they were advertising the Honky Tonk Man.
Which, by the way, his IC title reign is done because of fucking Walter.
Thank God. You know what's funny, though? I don't hate Wayne Ferris as like a fucking guy or anything. I just hate that gimmick, the Honky Tonk Man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just sucks.
Isn't he like Lawler's cousin or whatever?
Yeah, he's his cousin. And when you look at him, like if you look at pictures of him, yeah, they look pretty similar. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why they never did this thing where like, you're going to fight me. And then like, you know how like Edge did the thing where he had the Edge heads?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Lawler should have done a thing where like his cousin was like a stunt double for him or some shit. Like he uses him to pull a trick. I feel like they could have done that.
Or they could have done like, how a king has to like have a president has like a body double, and like he makes his cousin eat like all the food to check if it's poisoned or whatever.
But like, I will give him credit for this. Somebody asked him like, what do you think about Gunther fucking like dethroning your title reign? And he's like, this is what he said. He's like, I don't give a shit. I haven't worked there for 30 years. and he's like, I don't care. Good for that guy. He's, say what you want. At least he's always honest.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the Lawler family is like they speak their mind no matter what. So,
but I'm just like, God damn it, because it's Honky Tonk Man, and like I'm starting to like. They're literally just picking up all the WWF cast-offs right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't know when they ended their partnership, Honky Tonk and WWF. I feel like it's been a couple years. So like, I don't know what he's been doing at this point.
Yeah.
Then there's a segment where they show Dusty and Dustin in the ring. I think this was over TV or something that we didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
And Dusty says he's neglected Dustin, and I've neglected you. I've been in Hollywood, and I've been wheeling and dealing, and I've neglected you. And he's like, he's getting the crowd like really into this shit. And he like verbally lambasts Kenny's dad and Terry Funk and Arn Anderson. And he said Terry Funk was a no good watermelon thief or some shit. Like, what? I don't even know. Like, I've never even heard that insult before, but it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, he tells Dustin, he's like, I don't want your approval. I don't want this. He's like, I want to be your partner. I don't want a handshake. I want a hug and a kiss. And they hug, kiss, and the crowd's like, ah. My favorite part though is like they were going ape shit over Dusty just talking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like right before they did the hug, they were losing their minds, and all of Dusty did, he put his hand up, and they stopped. Like, holy, this guy can just control the crowd. It's awesome.
I thought it would have been funny if, like, I've been neglecting you and your baby brother Cody for this new brand star Roman Reigns.
For this brand new star, Roman Reigns. Great kid. I wish he was my son.
Oh man, it's funny like how like Paul Heyman took that promo and probably like looked at something like this. But I wouldn't say looking at this exact promo where he did with Dustin, but he probably said something like that in real life. I've been neglecting you, brother, baby.
So that pretty much leads straight into the next match, which is Bunkhouse Buck, aka Kenny's dad, Terry Funk with Ming and Colonel Parker versus the Rhodeses, Dusty and Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
And the ring announcer can't even finish the fucking introductions because like the Rhodes just enter the ring and they start fighting.
Yep.
And they beat on Kenny's dad for a while. And then Terry tries to interfere, and then he takes like a funny bump where he's like, it's like he got punched a bunch, and then he like stumbled into the ropes, and he kind of like sat in the middle rope, like he was like dazed, and he was like, oh fuck, and then like I can't remember who hit him, if it was Dusty or Dustin. Somebody hit him, and then he like fell backwards outside of the ring through the ropes and landed on his head. Just really. It's just something like really good heels or it's one of the things that help, them stand out is they take like really unique bumps that nobody else does. It's like, okay, Flair doing the turnbuckle thing. Oh, and he like flies outside and he fucking hits the floor. That's and Terry Funk will typically take some kind of really weird bump like that where he'll like go outside, upside down, hang in the ropes or some shit, and he's punch drunk and he can't see.
Mm-hmm.
They got the heels on the ropes for a while. The crowd's really reacting to Dusty being back. And to me, this is hilarious because it's like they've been teasing Dusty Rhodes getting back in the ring for over a year and nothing ever came of it until just now. Like there's that shit with the assassin and like somebody else called him out. I can't remember who. Some other heel. It might have been Flair or something. And now he's here finally, and it's paying off. But the heels take control when I didn't fucking understand this shit. Kenny's dad took his cowboy boot off, and he hit Dustin in the head with it. But then he acted like he needed to hide the evidence of him doing that. And I'm like, you just took your own shoe off and hit him with it. Like, that's not like a foreign object. That's not an international object, brother. You just, that would be like if you untied your wrestling boot and hit him in the head with it. Like, what the fuck is that?
I guess you're right. Maybe he just thought like he would get a DQ, but like other shit happens. Especially with a wooden chair later.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. That was the best part of this whole thing. So the Rhodes get things back in their favor eventually, and until Arn Anderson comes out and attacks both of them, and I think he DDTs Dustin. But somehow the referee didn't like fucking see it. And then no, he didn't. That's not when he DDT'd Dustin. That was after the match actually ended. He did attack him, but nothing happened. Nothing came of it. Like, it was like whatever. It was negligible. Dustin manages to rally. He pins Terry, but Arn breaks it up, and then he DDTs him. There it was.
Yeah.
DQ. It was okay, but I'm so sick of Kenny's dad. He's just not a good wrestler at all. And his psychology is fucking weird. The boot thing was just like another example of like, what the fuck is this guy thinking? Like, I don't.
He's not a good wrestler.
And then even though they got Dusty Rhodes to come back and fight a match with his son, and Terry Funk's in this match, I'm just not invested in this feud. Like, that sucks.
It's because it's been so long. Because remember, like, it started off with, Dustin, and then he was like facing Kenny's dad, and then Terry Funk comes, and then Arn Anderson is like, I'd beat up my grandma for 50 cents or whatever. And then he turns on Dustin. Like, for a second, I was like, is Dustin gonna turn on his own son? Like, what?
Now I'm with the stud stable. This is Dusty Rhodes, stud stable. He just takes it over.
Yeah. And it's also like, I mean, I know it's great to have Dusty in the ring, but it's also like, now all the cheering is going for Dusty, and Dustin is just the sidekick.
Yeah, it kind of had that effect, I think, a little bit. I didn't really think about that, but you're right. Actually, looking back, it's just like they have all these pieces in place where like this should have been like a good program, but because they have this guy that sucks, it like sucked all the good out of it. He's kind of like the Tennessee version of Paul Roma, I guess. I don't know.
Then you have fucking Colonel Parker out there as well.
Oh,
he was like less known in the match, by the way, which was good.
Yeah, he wasn't as prominent. He's like still his presence is felt, but yeah. What did you give his match?
I give it like an average, a 5 out of 10. The reason why I give it a 5 out of 10 because Meng comes up to like Dusty, and Dusty is like not phased at all, and he like turns around, turns his back against Meng, goes under the ring, grabs a wooden chair, and smashes it over the head, and Meng doesn't fucking move. And I was like, that's fucking cool. So that's why.
Yes, I fucking love that. I'm glad you brought that up. Like, it's like seriously, it's like they're fighting the heels off. And then, like, yeah, Ming's there. And then Dusty's like, oh, like he's going to punch him. And he's like, am I going to elbow him? And then he's like, no. He literally does, like, the finger wag because he knows. This guy's like a weird Samoan Pacific Islander motherfucker or something. That's not going to work.
Why wasn't he in the match?
He's like I guess he's Colonel Parker's fucking bodyguard because everybody fucks with him so much.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. Yeah, and he gets like one of those old wooden folding chairs where they had like the slats in the seat.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's probably a lot of people that don't even know what that chair is, like if they're listening. Because you would only see that chair if you were a certain age.
You would see that chair in a church basement for like Bible study, pretty much.
You'd see that chair there. You'd see that chair in an old arena, an old athletic complex, like that fucking arena probably was. I had a set of chairs like that here at my house because my mom went through a phase where she really liked antique furniture.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a couple of those. They were not comfortable chairs.
You think they gimmicked that chair, by the way? Maybe put like thinner wood, maybe?
No. Because the slats on them are thin anyway.
Okay.
I don't know how people sat in them, honestly. That's probably before they made everybody fat with preservatives and fucking supersized everything. I digress. Like the whole thing of him hitting him with the old chair was amazing. It's like he literally, it was like a cartoon. It was something out of a cartoon. And I know Dusty came up with this. This whole thing was designed to get Ming over. He like smashes it over his head, and it's literally like a cartoon. The wood slats just fly out, and his head is like sticking through the chair, and he does not budge an inch. And he's wearing sunglasses too. That's the other thing that makes it perfect.
And it stays on.
Ming's wearing like a pip suit and sunglasses, and this guy hits him in the head with a chair, and he doesn't budge an inch. And he goes, and his sunglasses stay on perfect. And he goes, "Oh!" He's fucking like attacks him. And then he puts on the Asiatic nerve hold. And then Dusty's like screaming and convulsing and shit like he's killing him.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
What'd you give it?
Well, I gave the match a 5.6 because, like, okay, I've graded on a curve a little bit because Dusty's in there. The crowd's really into him. And Terry Funk is in there. He's trying his best, but there's like a Tennessee black hole. And you know, Dustin's great. He's just underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. Nothing bad happened per se, other than like Kenny's dad's weird ass fucking selling and psychology.
Why wasn't Arn Anderson in there?
I don't know. That's a really good question. He should have been. The match would have been way better if he was in it.
It would have been more threatening that Dusty would have to show up.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But the angle after the match was over was cool.
Yes. I'll give it that. Like, the whole match, I was like, okay, I get it. And then, like, at the end, I was like, that's pretty cool. That's why I, like, gave it an average score. Oh, man. But, meanwhile, at the hospital, the Hogan cronies feel that he should just forfeit the title because doctors are concerned, and his lawyer is also concerned. They're trying to make it serious. Like, I rolled my eyes at this point. Like, it's your knee, bro. Like, I get it. Like, you're injured, but you're not dying.
No, brother, he's dying, brother. It's like that angle like they just had with like Roddy.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, what was he doing? He's calling Adam Cole, and he's like, "You're not gonna die, man." What the fuck?
It's weird. But Ric Flair gets on camera and demands that Hulk Hogan walk down and hand him the belt.
Walk that aisle!
Yeah. Cherry's looking weird.
Well, that's because she was dressed for a funeral. She said she was there to dance on his grave. I'm like, son of a bitch. She wants to see him die. So this really is life or death. Like, you keep saying they're acting like he's going to die, but she wants him to die.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, the next match is Antonio Inoki versus Lords. What's up?
There is a little in-between spot here before this match happened where, like, Shivani, Mean Gene, and Heenan are, like, standing there by the ring.
Oh, yeah, the neck brace.
This part was funny. I'm like, at least somebody's being entertaining on this show. And, like, Okerlund's, like, telling them, like, Hogan is walking back to the arena and he'll be here. And then Bobby can't believe this. He's like, he's walking? And he's like, you heard what I said. He starts yelling at him. He's like, you don't have to yell at me. I'm right here. He's like, well, he's walking back. So he's walking back. And they have this argument about whether or not he's walking back. And it's like the funniest thing that happens on this whole show.
That's so stupid. Like,
well, everybody's talking about how he can't fucking walk. And he's walking back to the arena.
And he's been like fucking dying and stuff because of his knee. Oh my god!
Like, to me, it's like Heenan saw an opportunity. Maybe Mean Gene misspoke, and like he's like, he can't fucking walk. His legs fucked up. He's like, he's walking, and he turned it into like a whole bit.
And Mean Gene's probably like pissed off or whatever.
Oh man, that was so good. That was a good minute and a half of comedy there.
Yeah. Yeah, remember we talked about, like, is Inoki going to fight Lord Steven Regal, and here he is.
Yeah, they didn't pull a Dusty and like fucking tease a match for like over a year that was never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
This match starts out interesting, and like Regal attacks Inoki before he even gets in the ring, and like that's not usually something he ever does.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get like little brief flashes of like Inoki's style, which is like he treats it more like it's a wrestling fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like he like holds his hands up like a guard, and he tries to like slap people in the ear and fucking punch them and shit. And he's like trying to do like martial arts and shit and like wrestling holds, and it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the way this match goes, it's like he gets like stuffed and like controlled for like 90% of the match for some reason. I don't know why. And then it gets interrupted. So like, even if there was stuff you liked, it's getting interrupted by Hogan limping around backstage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then he's like, he is walking. He walked all the way back here. He said some stupid shit like that. And then like, out of nowhere, Inoki grabs Regal in a rear naked choke, and Regal fucking passes out and he beats him. It's like Regal beat his ass for like 90% of the match, and then he just won.
In a non-title match.
And I was like, that's like those flat ass finishes they do now with submissions where it's like there's no build to it. It just like out of nowhere a guy grabs a submission and that dude just fucking gives up. And it's like, oh.
Man, it's just like it's just like it's like modern day wrestling where you ring the bell and it's like, oh, it's over.
Oh, he passed out.
Yeah. And it's so weird with the submissions now these days. Like, because remember when they used to do the arm thing? Like, we go 1,
yeah,
2. Now it's just like they do the MMA thing where like they look at the eyes, and if they see like the tongue sticking out or whatever, like they ring the bell. It's like
they did that here.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't even check Regal's arm. He just kind of like looked at him. And he's like, yeah, he's turning blue. He's done. It's like, what the fuck? The arm thing is so much more dramatic. Because it's like, and it always works. I don't care what anybody says. It always worked. Because it's like, oh man, is he going to lose? And it's like the tension is like, oh, that's 2. And sometimes they don't get out of it, but sometimes they go, oh, and then it's like, oh my God, he's not done. Everybody freaks out. It always works. Those old tricks.
The only thing I could think of is like they wanted to follow up Inoki in the match, and Inoki probably brought up like, I got to do it now since he like fucking showed me up in the middle of the ring. And Inoki's so old, like he's a little bit old and stuff, and they're just like, well, you can't have a full match. So that's why they probably did the Hulk Hogan segment and then did that submission thing, because they had to make Inoki look strong. Because if Regal beat him, that would be, in my opinion, that would look weird.
Also, yeah, there's like a lot of Japanese fans out in the crowd. Like clearly they were people that flew from Japan to watch him wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of interesting to see. So, yeah. I mean, it's true. But that guy is like, he's like a national sports hero in Japan. So, I don't know. That would be like people traveling to see fucking, I guess, Ric Flair wrestle or something. I gave it a 5.3 out of 10, mostly because it wasn't bad. I just feel like it wasn't allowed to be a complete match for some reason.
Yeah, I gave it an average 5 out of 10. Another 5 out of 10.
Well, a little bit of I feel like that match could have been way better than what it was. I don't know why they booked it that way. It was kind of strange.
They could have got rid of the tag match and put more time on this match, in my opinion.
Well, it's time.
Man event time. Woo!
Whoa.
So Flair comes down first with Sherry, and he's like screaming on the top of his lungs to bring the belt to him, which is weird because like the whole reason why he wanted the belt is because he couldn't compete. So like maybe that's what he was thinking. But at the same time, like everybody saw that Hulk Hogan walked miles to the arena with a bust up knee, and he's not.
I think Flair was choosing to manifest the fact that he was injured,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted him to walk out there and hand him it over to him personally and humiliate him.
Like give up.
He was manifesting.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like Hulk Hogan comes out, he's selling the limp a little bit, but like it changes once he gets in the ring.
Yeah, because he hulks up.
Yeah, and
it doesn't take long. It's like Hogan rushes Flair and starts beating the crap out of him, which is very unlike Hogan thing to usually happen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like knocking him outside over the ropes. He's fighting him on the floor. He's ramming his head into poles and like security railings. He didn't suck pole. Flair does not suck pole.
No.
And he makes other people suck his pole. Raking eyes and biting and choking Flair out with like shirts and cables. Just like, and Hogan's like taking his own shirt off after hulking up, and he like shoves it down his throat, chokes him with it, and chokes him in the corner with his hands. Like, and I'm like, this just made me think, like, I always thought it was really weird how like Hogan will do like a bunch of heel moves, even though he's supposed to be like a baby face.
Mm-hmm.
Like the back rakes, that's a heel move. The eye rakes, the biting and choking, and he does all of those things, and that's like before he was Hollywood Hogan.
See, that's what annoyed me in this match is like
he was more dirty than Flair was.
Yeah, it's just like I get what he was trying to do. Like he's trying to like, oh, you tried to get me injured, and so I'm gonna play your game now, type of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just like, they could, and I'm going back to the injury thing. Like they could have done something where he got hit in the knee and he was in backstage and he was contemplating what to do. Instead, they did this whole thing like he needed to get like knee replacement or whatever to the hospital. Like his knee was like fucking punctured through the skin or whatever. And like it was like life or death Hulk Hogan. And then it just like, oh no, bro, it's just a bruise. Go back. And he like walked all the way back to the arena. And
he
like,
left under his own power against doctors' advice.
Yeah. And then he comes back and he hulks up and he does all this heel shit. And it's like looking at hindsight, you know, it's a typical Hogan thing where it's just like he has to make it a big deal. And like, they could have not done that.
There's a place for that kind of retaliatory heel tactics thing as a babyface, but he does like a chain of it. It's like a never-ending stream of it. Like that was like his whole offense. Like he punches him some too. I didn't leave anything out. That's pretty much like all the shit he did to Flair for like 10 minutes.
They could have done something like. What really fucks up the show is like they did it throughout the whole show. What they could have done is before the main event, Ric Flair sends whoever it was. You think it was Sherry that did it, by the way?
No, that was clearly a dude.
Okay.
Like he was big. Like he was like big and stocky.
You think that's Barry Windham?
I think it was Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan? Okay.
He has a similar build. The only thing I'm not sure about is the height. Because like if you go back and look at the guy, he's kind of like wide and he has like a big chest. And that's like Kevin Sullivan's build.
Is that what's leading to Halloween Havoc pretty much, you think?
Remember what CM Chaz was telling us before we got in a fight and there was a biting and everything. And monitors were jostled.
Yeah. Swedish Fish was had.
And snorted.
Yeah.
he told us about how like this feud with Kevin Sullivan's going to start soon, where he was pissed because his brother was a fan of his and everything. And I think this is the beginning of that. If I'm correct, I don't know if I'm right. It's just looking at that guy. I'm like, he's got like a short, stocky guy build like Kevin Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what I think, because that's what I remembered, all that stuff.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, like, instead of doing the whole show where he's at the hospital, like in the beginning of the match, like the guy hits him, right, and his knee is all fucked up, and like he goes backstage, and then you can play with the Ric Flair being like, all right, give me the title, I win, and like hand me the title, I'm the winner now.
No, brother.
That's the stipulation. And then like Hulk Hogan is like pushing doctors away, and like, or like pulls one of the doctors, said, what can you do for my knee right now? And then gives him like those needles, the steroids, not steroids, cortisone shot. And, you know, does it. And he goes outside and he's limping and stuff. And then he could do his fucking gimmick of like hulking up and showing that the hulking up is his,
man, all he had to do is like pop a few beans and he could have like done all kinds of moves.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to do that.
The adrenaline would have kicked in and stuff. And
the bean kicked in.
Yeah, I think that would have been way better. Just having him throughout the whole show just like rolled my eyes, especially when he walked back to the arena.
I think they could have executed that a lot differently. Like a lot less of it on air would have been nice. Like you could cut that shit in half, probably.
And you're Hulk Hogan. You can't afford a cab? What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck's that? Or like, you know, Hulk Hogan's friends with everybody, brother. Why didn't the ambulance drive him back free of charge?
Yeah. He could have came in the ring with the ambulance and shit.
They could have tried to interview him. Like, you know, like he's laying there in the bed. He's like, oh, brother. Oh, you know, and like Uncle Eric's trying to talk to him. And he's like, I don't want to give up, brother, but oh man, it hurts. Oh, something.
Hits him with the freeze gun, and then the smoke clears out, and he goes anti-freeze.
I was just thinking about Mr. Freeze shooting his leg, and like his leg freezes up. I don't know why. Instead, we had to see like some fake lawyer, and then like, you know, Jimmy Hart. I still can't believe he's like a babyface manager, and then Brutus Beefcake, but they didn't call him Brutus; they called him Brood High, or what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's that? Just call him something else. God. Anyway, yeah, we went on this massive tangent, but kind of. It's very related to this. Hogan's beating the snot out of Flair for like 3/4 of this match. Like Flair's getting like no offense.
Mm-hmm. And
then finally, and this kind of pissed me off too psychologically that it took this long to get to this point. Finally, 3/4 of the way through this match, Flair attacks Hogan's knee. I'm like, well, you took him that long? I thought that's the first thing he would have done.
Yeah.
It's like, it should have been, if it was Ric Flair, if it was like, no bullshit, I thought Hogan was going to get in there and be like, brother, I'm going to think about, and then Flair just kicks him in the leg immediately. It's like what should have happened. Let's see. Hogan's still got to overpower, no sell Flair, even like when his knee's fucked. And I think that's like really funny. And there's this part where Bobby was like yelling at Hogan, calling him a stupid idiot or some shit, and yelling at him to give up when he was like in the figure 4.
Mm-hmm.
Give up! And like Shivani was like, calm down. Like he was. But the match goes on for a little bit longer until Hogan manages to hit a leg drop, but he can't capitalize because his knee is apparently sawdust. And Flair tries another figure 4, but Hogan manages to get to the ropes. And then Sherry attacks Hogan's knee and causes him to like roll out of the ring. Like she hits him in the knee with her shoe, which is again not considered an international object because it was on her. There's like, and then he's counted out like really fast.
Mm-hmm. And
there's like confusion about what happened. And then Bruce Buffer apparently doesn't know the rules of wrestling because he thought Flair won the title. And then like he's like, wait, no, it was a disqualification. And then he's like, no, he was counted out. He's yelling. And then like the masked guy comes back, and it confirms that it's not Flair that did it. And I don't know who it is. And Sting comes out and he saves Hogan from being destroyed, and all the baby faces and Hogan's entourage leave.
And Hogan's like crying because Ric Flair got his title.
He stole it.
Yeah.
It's not fair. He stole that from Flair fair and square. Match was okay. Because, like, here's the thing. I feel like Hogan's trying to have more of a match than he used to ever, obviously. Like, these matches are longer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he's going for something besides the typical Hogan shit, even though that stuff kind of bleeds in.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't, like, just totally shit on the match, I feel like, because he's, like, trying to do something. But it's like psychologically though, it's like all fucked up and stuff. Like I don't understand what that was about.
It's like they were trying to like, we need to have a rematch, but it needs to be fuckery in it. And it kind of seems like they did it on the fly.
You know what I would have done? This would have been a lot cooler. You do all the shit you were saying about like the angle before.
Mm-hmm.
Make it shorter, make it more personal or something, instead of stooges relaying messages and shit. And then like Hogan brother pulls his pants up and says, "I'm gonna fucking try, damn it, I can't give up." But I gotta remember the little Hulkamaniac that I saw at Wembley Stadium when I never wrestled in Wembley Stadium, and I made that song about him. And like the thing that I said should have happened in the match happens, where Hogan gets in the ring and punches Flair like 3 or 4 times and shoots him off like he's going to do something, and then Flair hits him in the knee immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, Flair is like beating the shit out of Hogan because he can't fucking stand up. And he can't wrestle like on the ground because Hogan's not known for, mat wrestling and stuff.
Yeah, he could have done the figure 4 on the turnbuckle, like how he puts it by the, put the pole between his legs and then do the figure 4.
Yeah, or Hogan can fight out maybe once or twice, and he'll get a punch in or whatever, or chop him, or he'll do an eye rake or whatever because that's justified, I feel like. And then, but no, Flair just keeps chopping him down, and he's gonna fuck him up, and it looks like, oh my god, Hogan's gonna like lose, and then Sting comes out,
yeah,
and then Sting attacks Flair and causes a DQ, but he saved Hogan because Hogan's like, my knee, he's like screaming and shit because his knee's just destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Sting saved Hogan from getting like potentially hurt more.
Then Sting and Ric Flair could have had a program where Ric Flair was fucking going nuts on whatever next show. And
it would be like shorter. It would have been like you could have done all that in like 10 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know.
I gave this match a 5.5 out of 10.
That's exactly what I gave it.
Yeah. Because I was like, okay. I mean, respect to Ric Flair. Respect to Hulk Hogan for at least doing a match, but all the other fuckery that happened with his knee kind of ruined shit. Just like, yeah, whatever.
And I gotta say, poor Ric Flair.
Yes.
God damn it, he's gotta look like such a fucking putz out there. Like he can't get any offense in at all.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of irritates me.
Yeah.
So, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, what do you give this whole show?
So, honestly, this show kind of sucked because like 50% of the airtime was like devoted to Hogan's fucking attack and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And all that shit, just way too much of that stuff. And I'm starting to like lose my patience with WCW again.
Yep, same.
It was like one good match can't save this entire show, and like the rest of the matches are like average or less than that. And then there's like a bunch of annoying shit involving one angle that just doesn't let up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're putting all their eggs in Hulk Hogan's red and yellow basket, brother. That's what it feels like. They're just pushing Hogan hard, and they just like gave up on everything else.
Yeah.
It's what it feels like right now.
And it's like the only decent match was fucking stunning Steve Austin versus Ricky Steamboat, and it sucks because Hulk Hogan interrupted that match with his news. Like the Terry Funk thing at the end of the match, it was fine. Inoki versus Steven Regal was short and weird and interrupted by Hulk Hogan stuff again. And then we get the main event, and it's just like you're tired of Hulk Hogan at that point.
Yeah, honestly, that's a really good way to put it. I felt burned out on Hulk Hogan. Like everybody was burned out on from watching WWF. If like you weren't like a child or something, it was like, God damn it. Because I mean, there was a whole other subset of WWF fans from before that don't like Hogan as much, you know.
Well, it's like it's like and Uncle Eric has like I don't know what it is. He doesn't make things special with wrestlers. He always has to put them on TV. And it's like, you don't need Hulk Hogan on TV at all. You just be there when he needs to be there. And
he can appear once in a while, but like not all fucking time or something.
Yeah. And
but
it's just too much.
Way too much, yeah. Less is more. I gave a show a 5.2 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it a 5.4 out of 10 because, again, one good match and it was interrupted by Hulk Hogan, and everything led to me just not caring about Hulk Hogan at the end, when they should have just, if they wanted to do that angle in the beginning, have him injured and wonder what's going on, and maybe have like, I don't know, Bobby Heenan like get his news reports, you know, like he's like, I'll be right back, I'm gonna go in the back and get some news. Like they could have done that at least once.
Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, I won't give him a strike yet because I am still interested of the Kevin Sullivan Halloween Havoc thing. So hopefully that will pique my interest because of how goofy it looks.
I'm voting to strike.
You're voting to strike? Okay.
Hear me out. This is why. Because we're like 3/4 of the way through the year. And pretty much for the entire year, we're like, they're not doing as good. And it's all led up to this point. It's like now they got Hogan and they're pushing the shit out of him right now. To their detriment, I feel like. Where they're making like it's too much of the show revolves around like what is happening with him. Like more than when he was in the WWF, it feels like. Even at his height, you know. So I feel like it's just been too long of like not really anything of like the we're well past like when there was still more good matches happening, and even like then it was like still like the rest of the show wasn't all that good. That's like what we always keep saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I say they get a strike.
All right, I'll lean into that. We'll give him a strike. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
You can try to argue against not giving him a strike, I guess.
No, my main thing is, and I looked at it, is the Halloween Havoc that's coming up right now, the one that's infamous.
I don't think it is. Is it?
I don't know.
What are you referring to?
The Doom thing that happens, or is that later on?
The Dungeon of Doom?
Yeah, that 95?
I think that happens a little bit later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so let's get in the strike.
Yeah, strike. See, like, so I'm going to say this real quick, too, because like there's still a few more events that need to happen that we got to watch. I think there's another Clash of Champions that we got to watch, too.
Yeah, it's on November 16th.
So if they fuck up bad enough that they strike out before we can even get to Starrcade, we're gonna still watch Starrcade, I guess.
Okay.
But like if they strike out like before that, that's spectacular. I don't expect them to, but you know, just for the sake of being like consistent, I gotta give them a strike. All
right. Well, WCW gets the strike. What What's the next thing we're gonna watch? WWF SummerSlam.
You are correct, sir. SummerSlam. We may, since we're gonna go back on our regular schedule, it'll be bi-weekly again, even though we missed a week.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully by then, we'll reach a new deal and sign somebody else to replace CM Chaz.
Maybe we'll sign the rated Pokemon card Charizard.
The Charizard. We'll hire the rated C.
Yeah. And maybe he'll be back on the show, and then maybe he could hate WCW with us soon. Because I am interested in war games. Like, I'm interested to see what that is all about. But I guess we'll quickly talk about some news, I guess. So since we've been hinting it, just like how we hint how the Hulk Hogan thing was happening throughout the whole WCW thing, Edge, who's now rated R superstar Adam Copeland, has joined AEW. And all those rumors did end up being true, that he wanted to be with Christian, or Christian Cage, I should say.
That's right.
And I don't know how I feel about it. Like, they're doing the whole WWF 94 with, like, there's a new era, and like the new era is Edge, because they're doing like rated R era. That's what Edge is going off of, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. But it I'm concerned for Edge because of his spine, and this is AEW. And he is going to be wrestling with young talent, because I think his first match is going to be against Luchasaurus in Collision this Saturday. And it looks like they're doing a feud. Edge and Christian are going to do a feud. And maybe something down the road where they team up. Maybe there's going to be a common enemy soon. The only thing I could think of is Edge is facing against Christian. They have a little battle, and then Jungle Boy comes back from his suspension and reclaims his dinosaur again. And Edge and Christian versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. That's the only thing I could think of. But like, I'm shocked that Edge. I always thought Edge would be, I'm gonna be 100% WWE and retire with WWE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
And that's not the case. And I don't know, man. Like, this is uncharted territory. Then again, we never know what AEW is booking until they actually do it, and usually it's sucky. So I have no idea if this is going to be a good thing for them or a bad thing. What do you have to say about this?
I was surprised that he actually showed up. I just always thought that was like a rumor, like a hopeful rumor people were like perpetuating.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I thought the same thing. Like, oh, this dude's gonna be WWE for life. And I guess not. And I guess like he was kind of unsatisfied with how his run ended up being there, which I guess I kind of understand it. I think it's weird because now WWE has kind of a real track record of this now, where like I think Edge wanted there to be like a big pay-per-view blow off payoff to end his career.
Mm-hmm.
Like some kind of big program to end it and get somebody over or whatever. I don't know. And it didn't happen. Instead, he had a match with Sheamus on SmackDown, and that was it. And he liked Sheamus and he liked that match, obviously. But that's not what he wanted. And so I get that. And like, that's not the first time they've done this kind of thing with like older talent. Like Kurt Angle didn't get to have a real good retirement match either.
Mm-hmm.
He wrestled like John Cena was there and he was still active up to that point. And he wrestled Baron Corbin. And he like fucking lost. I think he lost. And which just the way that was all constructed was just shit. And I don't even hate Baron Corbin or anything. I just thought, like, really? Everybody thought the same thing. Like, really? Fucking Corbin? Okay.
Yeah.
And then, like, who else did they do that to? They fucking didn't let somebody else retire well either, I thought. Cena, kind of. I mean, you could say, like, he didn't really have, like, a grand... I mean, he's not fully retired, I guess, but at the same time, he's fucking not active anymore either. He just kind of, like, stopped. He just fucking, like, just left.
It's always weird because, like, some wrestlers have multiple, like, standing ovation, like, clapping, and you're just like, is this the end of, you know, this wrestler? Because either there's two things: either their contract is up and they're not resigning, and everybody knows about it because Twitter and all the dirt sheets are just now easy to get these days, or B, he's finally retiring. Like. Yeah. Triple H, like, he's the only one that actually put his boots in the ring and said, I'm fucking done. And, like, he's getting interviews now. Like, are you ever going to go back in the ring? And he's like, no, I can't because I'll have another heart attack or whatever and die. And I don't want that to happen. It's pretty
definitive that he's never wrestling again.
Yeah. But, like, it's funny because you have Triple H. Like, if you look at him on the outside, you're like, oh, man, he looks perfect. But then you have Ric Flair, who has a fucking pacemaker. And he's literally just, like, almost about to die in the middle of the ring, whatever promotion he was at, where he was with the Spanish guy. I keep on forgetting his name.
Andrade,
yeah. His son-in-law.
And then later he admitted to, like, fucking blacking out in that ring. Like,
yeah.
He lost time because he fucking lost consciousness.
Yeah, because he's a fucking crazy dude. And
crazy old man.
It's just, they never know when you never know as a watcher, like, when there's going to be their last match, because HBK had like 1 million retirement matches.
Did he?
Well, he had, you know, the first when his back was out and, like, he thought he was never going to come back, and then the drugs, and then he comes back, and then the Brothers Destruction match he had when he did the whole Saudi thing. Like, they always come back later on a little bit, like, even if it's like 1 or 2 matches. But when I think of retirement match, retired, you're done. No more. Not special matches, in my opinion.
I mean, Sean's was pretty definitive up until that fucking he wanted the Saudi money.
Yeah.
Or the Prince of Saudi Arabia demanded to see Shawn Michaels, and they had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which that sounds like that's something that would happen, because they're like, I want to see Yokozuna. And they're like, he's been dead for like 23 years.
Get Rikishi and make him Yokozuna.
We will give you the Sultan. Remember when Rikishi was the Sultan?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that they should have done that, actually. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm a little nervous about Edge being in AEW too, but at the same time, I think he's not going to agree to do something like really fucking insane, because like he just knows where his health's at and everything and what he can take. So he's probably going to do one of those shits where it's just like, oh, well, if I think I can do this spot and get away with it, I'll do it. Because that's kind of what his attitude has always been.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows now, it's like, I got a family, I got kids, I got, you know, I'm 50, my back does suck, even though it's better. So, you know, I don't think he's going to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, it's the other wrestlers that I'm kind of nervous about. Of like,
I'm worried about Ray Phoenix fucking picking somebody up and power driving him like 3 times.
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Or like Sammy Guevara like throws a fucking chair at someone's head and he's like bleeding and having concussion and all that stuff.
Or like Rick Knox not knowing how to do his job.
Oh yeah. Fucking finally everybody's giving him fucking heat, by the way.
It only took 4 fucking years for somebody to like, oh my God, because like now they finally figured out like, oh, that guy's terrible at being a referee.
Yeah, because he lets fucking Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers fucking go crazy and shit. And all he does is count to 3. And that's all he does.
I feel like a lot of fans just don't really understand like what referees are actually supposed to do. Like they just think it's a guy that stands in the ring and just fake officiates, and like he knows the finish and all this shit. Like that's what they think referees are.
Mm-mm.
And they have like way more responsibility than that. And generally they're supposed to. And
they're like
the thing about and then the thing about referees too is like they're supposed to treat everything that happens in the ring like it's a shoot. So, like in reality, he shouldn't have known that what the finish of the match was supposed to be. And that's why if he didn't know that, he wouldn't have hesitated on that initial pinfall attempt and then fucked it up and exposed everything.
Mm.
Even though like they expose the business all the time in AEW, it's like when there's really blatant things like that, that's why everybody fucking booed, because it was like, oh, this is fucked up. And like everybody realized what happened.
Yeah.
So I don't
but
know.
But at the same time, but then again, I don't know if like Moxley said, yeah, I'm fine, keep on going. But like as a referee, you should know like this guy is fucked up right now. Like I need to, either A, bring it home, or put up the X and get him out of here. And Knox is like, nope, gonna keep on going and have him pile drive him 2 fucking more times. Jesus fucking Christ.
I know this is crazy. This is like fucking everybody likes to talk about this moment and everything, and I like to bring it up all the time too. And then Chaz is like, that happened like 3 years ago. I was like, I know, but still, I always think about that time Alex fucking Reynolds or whatever the fuck that guy was in Dark Order, like got knocked the fuck out in the middle of that match, and then like nobody knew what to do, so they just dragged his unconscious body across the ring, put him off to the side while they kept having a match. And it was like, not. And the reason why I remember that and I bring it up all the time is because I've literally never seen that happen before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been watching wrestling my whole life, and I've never seen something where like somebody literally got knocked out in the ring, and they just shoved his body aside and kept going and ignored it. That's what happened.
Because I remember Earl Hebner was at the beginning of AEW. Is he just like a backstage referee official?
Maybe, I mean, I don't watch them consistently at all anymore. I've been over that. Not for a long time either. And I don't know if it's just because I don't really watch. But like I haven't heard of anything about him being there. Like actually, I don't know.
And Mike Chioda was there too at some point.
That's right. I don't know if he still is or not. Like I just don't know what's going on with the referees. I just know one of them's terrible, and one of them's like, it's not my job to involve myself in the match. And then she does everything she can to fucking stand out and be a part of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's dumbass will try to say, well, it's like Earl Hebner kicked the rope and yelled at the guy, and that's the same thing, or something like that, and they'll try to justify it and say that's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's fucking not.
Yeah. So like the positive thing I would say about Edge coming here is hopefully, since we're getting more experienced dudes. Now I'm not talking about the Elite because I know the Elite are like fucking stupid and they don't want fucking advice. Fuck you, Adam Hangnail Page.
Hangnail, brother.
Yeah. So like maybe they will teach the other superstars like some, things and to be better in the ring with ethics and all that stuff. Maybe they need a referee veteran to be in there and help things out as well too for Rick Knox. So hopefully this Edge thing is positive. A lot of people are like, fuck it. It's so weird. Like you brought it up the other day with the tweets where like someone was shitting on Edge and now they're like fucking jizzing over Edge and all that stuff.
And then Jade Cargill, the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like, it's so stupid, like the fucking console wars and stuff, like PlayStation versus Xbox. Like every time they get an exclusive, like, oh, we got Starfield, and Sony fanboys are like pissed off, or like, somehow Sony gets Bungie And now Xbox fans are like, I've always hated Bungie. Like, fuck you, bro. Like, you loved Bungie when you did Halo series and Halo Reach and all that stuff. Stop being like that. It's so stupid.
No, man, I bleed for this shit. It's like they got skin in the game or something.
Yeah,
Weird.
if CM Punk ever goes to WWE, you're gonna have like the WWE fans that were shitting on CM Punk, being like, "Oh, this is fucking awesome, bro. We gotta."
My God, he's back. Yeah, it's gonna fucking happen. It's gonna be funny. And it's like, look, like if he shows up at WWE, honestly, I'll be like, cool. Like, and that's a more controlled, structured environment. And honestly, he'll probably have way less problems being there anyway because it's a fucking professional environment.
Yeah, it's run by TKO now, or the fucking UFC people probably have officials back there.
And there's like way less fucking egos and bullshit now there than there ever was. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like he'd probably be okay if he went back there now at this point.
Oh, and Joe Rogan's been like interviewing like WWE superstars, and I think because Joe Rogan works for UFC as a commentator, like he's now getting like all the wrestlers to come on now. Like he did it before, but like it was like once in a blue moon type of thing. Like he did The Undertaker once The Undertaker was like officially done and not on contract anymore. But now they're doing like all the legends and stuff that are on contract, and we might be seeing more wrestlers on Joe Rogan's podcast. I just love how all the stories and stuff. They have this one. Joe Rogan always brings his buddy. I forget his name, but he's like a big wrestling fan. And Ric Flair was there, and Ric Flair was like telling a story. They were showing about the Shockmaster stuff.
Oh no!
And the stupid fanboy Joe Rogan's friend was like telling the story, and I'm like, bro, you have Ric Flair. Let him tell the story. He was there, not you. And like, you could tell Ric Flair was like kind of annoyed, like, brother, I was there, not you. Stop talking. But I don't know. Joe Rogan laughed his ass off about seeing the Stormtrooper helmet and all that stuff. And they laughed at the video. But yeah, CM Punk, I think, again, I still think he's a hothead, and yeah, it's a controlled environment, but it's also going to be like, how long is he going to be there? Probably longer than a year or two, I will say, in WWE if he goes that long.
He'll probably have a run if he goes.
Yeah. So
Survivor Series.
Speaking of Baron,
they're making little references too. Did you hear about that?
No.
Somebody said best in the world, and like somebody else said best in the world, and they're doing all these little subtle little things that you could interpret it that way. Maybe.
You think it would be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk for the title?
That's a match they could do that would probably be good.
Yeah.
And CM Punk's a personality. You can do promos, so that's something that Seth Franklin Rollins has never really been that good at, in my opinion. Is projecting a personality and doing good promos.
Yeah.
I know some people like that fucking Joker on PCP weird fucking gimmick he's got, but I don't. I think it's fucking stupid and I hate it. It's like somebody remembered. I brought this up before. Somebody remembered that he was funny when he would do that little shitty laugh when he was in the Authority.
Yeah, when he had J&J Security, that was fucking funny.
And like I always thought, like that's like one of the best things he ever did was when he was that shitty little like fucking toad for like the Authority, and the laugh was funny. And then they were like, "Yeah, I remember the laugh was funny. You know what? He should just do that all the time now. That's his whole gimmick." Fuck. It's like a monkey's paw.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see CM Punk back in WWE.
You could also do CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Like, there's a couple of options you could really do. Like, if you want to go that route,
I guess. I don't know. I think he would be better off with Seth Rollins, but it would be interesting promo wise.
The promos would be way better.
Yeah, with Roman Reigns, because then you have like Paul Heyman and stuff. Actually, that would probably be a better thing because CM Punk is a Paul Heyman guy. and Paul Heyman's with Roman Reigns, and you could do something with that. But I wouldn't have CM Punk win over Roman, I don't think. Would you?
No, I don't think he's the right guy. He's there to create interest and be interesting for a few months for that feud.
And he never got the headline WrestleMania, like the main event. But then again, there's 2 nights now, so there's 2 main events.
the thing about CM Punk is everybody wants to have their I like that guy, I hate that guy, whatever. I think he's a really talented guy. He's just, his personality is really abrasive and stuff.
The cult of personality, they would say.
I like him, whatever. Anyway, though, the thing about him is he can be really flexible in terms of being you can make him be a babyface, you can make him be a heel, so that gives you a lot more options about what you can do with him. So, like I said, you can be a babyface against Roman. He can feud against Seth Franklin and be a fucking asshole or a good guy. Or he can feud against Cody and be an asshole. Cody's not going to be a heel for a long time. You can see?
That would be... I actually would want that match. Cody versus CM Punk.
Me too. I think that'd be cool.
Because there's this rumors going around that Cody left because of CM Punk. And I think that's bullshit.
I don't really believe that. I think it's just something people made up because they're butthurt.
Yeah.
They're still butthurt. Even though the cancer's gone, they're still fucking butthurt.
Yeah.
It's not going to go away, guys. They didn't figure it out yet still.
Well, they're high on edge right now. Which, again, how long?
No, Edge is cancer now.
He's cancer? Okay. FTR was marking out when he showed up and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, those guys are tight. So,
did you watch any highlights of NXT No Mercy?
I saw that Becky beat Tiffany Stratton again. It's all I saw. And I saw she fucked her arm up. It's yeah, she cut it pretty deep. I did see the graphic photo of her arm cut. It was pretty bad. You can see it was so deep you could see the fat layer in her arm. That's how bad it was.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin was on a motorcycle.
So he's the Undertaker now?
I guess. He's a lone wolfman again, and he beat Braun Breaker.
He beat Braun Breaker?
Yeah.
I'm shocked at that, honestly.
I guess.
I wonder if the match was any good.
That's what I want to check out because they've been feuding for a while now. And I kind of want to see maybe Baron Corbin's propping Braun Breaker for the championship at some point, the NXT championship, and then eventually move to the main roster type of deal.
Maybe. I know they've been trying a lot more with NXT lately. I'm not trying to imply they haven't for the past year. As far as I've heard, the show's gotten better in general. But lately, these last couple months, it's they've been really pumping it up. They're trying harder, it seems like. They keep bringing people from main roster down to pump it up more and be involved in angles and stories there. And it's working because it's reflecting that in the ratings. So, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It kind of makes me want to almost watch NXT again.
Well, Ilya Dragunov is your NXT champion, which is fucking...
Oh, shit. He is?
Yeah.
That's my dude, man. I mean, besides Gunther, he's also my dude. Oh, I might have to watch NXT again.
Oh, and what do you call it? They did a thing where Dominic lost the NA championship, and then Rhea was like, "You better get this back, or I'm pretty much not going to be your mommy anymore."
Oh shit! He got extra motivated.
He got motivated to win the belt back, and then they did a segment where Rhea, Rip, and Dominic are in gorilla position, and fucking crooked-eyed fucking HBK comes up to them and tries to do a handshake, and they don't handshake him, and then HBK looks at the camera and says, "Your daddy should have whooped your ass."
It's pretty great, actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
man.
I don't know. NXT is kind of getting interesting again. It's almost kind of like when it was at its peak when Johnny Gargano and Ciampa and all that stuff a little bit. Like it almost has a little sparks of that. And I kind of want to see that. So I might peek in at some NXT stuff.
I might too, because I'm not currently watching any current wrestling on TV or anything. I'm zoned out for right now. I was basically just checking out until like Survivor Series happened.
Mm.
So I'm checked out of AEW. I just don't even almost care anymore. I've already been over that. So.
Which apparently they're doing War Games, and it's going to be the Bloodline versus not the Bloodline. Fuck, it's Judgment Day. And it's going to be Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Jimmy main event, Jimmy Uso,
Jey Uso.
Jey Uso. I'm sorry. Fuck, I always get those fucked up. And Cody Rhodes, and
okay,
and then it's Judgment Day. Obviously, Rhea is not going to be in there because she's a woman, which she could beat up those guys because she's like China build.
I could buy her beating up some of those guys.
they got that. Oh my god, I forgot his name. He was like
McDonough.
He was in the cruiserweight division. He's Irish. I forgot his fucking name.
JD McDonough.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
JD Funko Pop.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit interested in Survivor Series because of that. So I don't know. The main roster stuff is kind of like up in the air for me because I don't know where things are going.
Yeah, there's not like real clear directions on anything. Like the Bloodline storyline is just kind of like fucking in the ether right now, it feels like.
The Judgment Day stuff is stupid.
They're in their holding pattern. The Judgment Day stuff is, I don't know, they're trying to create intrigue with like JD and stuff, and they're feuding with people, and I don't know. It's kind of strange right now. How about all those releases?
Yeah. Do you have the list?
Oh man, I gotta go get it real quick. But
I mean, you could just bring up the, what do you call it? The ones that I shouldn't say the ones that matter, but the ones that were surprising, I guess.
I remember some of them.
Dolph Ziggler's gone.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler's like the big one, I think. So Mustafa Ali.
He wanted out for a long time.
Yeah, apparently they were going to do something with him on NXT, and then they just were like, "Nah, fuck it, let's just get rid of that guy."
Mm-hmm.
Rick Boogs. That one's been more interesting than what I thought because he's been crying so much on social media about it.
He was a big guy, but like he played guitar really well, but that's about it. It's like
he claims that his release and his D-push was a result of politics.
Stupid. He just wasn't great. Sorry.
And he claims it's because Vince McMahon was like not in the company for a while and that it killed his push. So like, I don't know. He's reminding me of Cryback, as they like to say right now. Aaliyah.
Interesting.
See, I actually kind of liked her, and I felt like she was underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were starting to use her more, and she did that thing where she beat Natalya in like a minute or some shit. And it was like, oh my God, she's got to win. And she got better. I remember when she first showed up in NXT, and I had to watch her go through a few gimmick changes and repackagings. And I was just like, I don't know if this chick's going to make it. I feel like she's been here for a while, and she hasn't done anything of note.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, she kind of started doing stuff. And I was like, she's all right. You know, I think they should have kept around, tried to do something else with her, just because they desperately need some fresh faces in that division.
Yeah.
But they let her go. Maybe she'll do something somewhere else. Elias. They fucked that guy up, man. They just fucked him up.
It's like it kind of felt like he was always in training.
No, like, okay, what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is like they were still building him up, but like they put him on a build/training schedule for like a really long time. And then he got injured, right? At some point.
I don't know. Actually, I think he might have, and I just didn't know about it. But even if he was injured, the way that gimmick worked, because there was a long period of time where he didn't wrestle. He was just being an asshole on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And that, honestly, it was working. That's back when they fully leaned into his, like, I'm Walk with Elias gimmick, that shit. And he was over. And there was a period of time where he was like one of the top heels. And then it just all petered out. Like, it's like Vince got bored or something. It feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, I don't know, this sounds like a Vince idea. You're going to be your own brother.
Ezekiel.
Shave off your beard and call you Ezekiel. You won't have a guitar anymore. You'll look like, no, damn it, shave the beard. You look like Randy Savage.
You're going to look like the Ultimate Warrior without his makeup.
Yes. But, like, they fucked that guy up, man. He could have really been something. And they fucked up his Elias gimmick, and it just wasn't the same after that. I don't know. They blew it.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good worker, too. That's the other thing. That guy was solid in the ring, and he had personality.
They just never did anything with him.
Nope. They squandered it. Riddick Moss.
Who is he again?
Remember Madcap Moss, the fucking goon for Happy Corbin?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Now, that guy is actually a pretty solid worker. He's good build. He's a bigger guy. Pretty athletic. And then, I don't know, it's like they gave him a really shit gimmick, and then, like, they didn't know what to do with him after that. They're just like, they gave up. They gave up on him. Which is, I don't know. I feel like that was premature. Top Dollar.
Oh, we saw that one coming.
I'm surprised it took that long, honestly. But you know what's really funny is they kept the other two. They got rid of him.
Well, he's the one that's always fucking up, right?
Yeah, he's always the one saying stupid shit and got heat backstage, apparently. That was something that led to them getting released the first time. Was apparently his attitude backstage rubbed people the wrong way. Is what he said. And he sucks. I'm sorry. He just fucking sucks. He's like awkward as shit. He's like a whale in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's just like, it's like, instead of, Free Willy jumps out of the water and he does like the majestic dive.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine like an autistic version of that. You just can't fucking be majestic in any kind of way. And he just awkwardly flails out of the water and flops. Flop Dollar.
That's when Michael Cole always makes fun of him.
That's why Michael Cole was making fun of him all the time.
Mm.
Shelton Benjamin.
That's surprising.
It is and it isn't. Because it's like, it was really clear, like, they just didn't really have anything of note for him to ever do. He was just kind of like there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was in the Hurt Business, and then the Hurt Business was over, and then there was just like, he's there, and they never had anything else for him to do. Which is, I think, still crazy because he's just so talented. I'm also kind of shocked they didn't try to see if, like, you want to, like, train wrestlers because you're good at wrestling, or something like that. Because if he has the aptitude for it, I would get that guy to train wrestlers.
Him and Ziggler.
Sure. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's still got gas in the tank. as far as I'm aware of, he's never had like a real serious injury or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be useful somewhere else. Emma.
She brought her back just to fucking get rid of her.
They brought her. She didn't even last a year. It kind of pisses me off too because I always liked her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, cool, they brought Emma back. Maybe she'll have a good run this time. They really need some other women that can work, that can be in the mix right now. And then they didn't mix her up at all. I hate that for her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's good. And then they did not use her. They basically just wasted her. Ziggler, of course. They talk about blowing it.
It's so wild. Like, he was at the top of the hill at some point in the early 2010s, the 2010s and stuff, and then he just fall off the map because of injury prone. And apparently they were gonna do a thing with him and Ric Flair being his manager at some point too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow, that could have been fucking interesting.
Yeah, because Ric Flair is like actually friends with him, Ziggler.
I can see that. You know what I see that as? Especially if they did it a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been like when remember when Mr. Perfect managed Ric Flair for like a really short period of time?
Yeah.
That's what I think of, except switch the roles.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
It's like, because I don't know, everybody always thinks about Mr. Perfect when they see Dolph Ziggler do certain things. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of had like a similar look for a while.
But
man, I always hate how his career ended up. He could have been so much more. I'm like not saying he could have been the fucking guy they build the company around or anything. But he could have been like somebody they could really rely on a lot or something.
hey, he could have been a fucking great mid-carder to be there for a while.
I mean, I feel like he could have been a Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels was only the guy for like a very brief period of time, and it was like honestly a failed run.
Dude, I still remember that pop with the Money in the Bank when he cashed it in.
Yeah.
Dude, that was fucking like, holy shit, it was so good. And then obviously it didn't go anywhere. And it just died from there, pretty much.
But he probably could have been in a Shawn Michaels like role where he's like always in the mix at the top, or he's got something going on and it's also important on the side, kind of a thing. Like being in that kind of a role. Daba Kato.
I don't know who that is.
The Commander Sneeze. No, Commander is he was in like, okay, when they were doing the COVID shit. Remember that weird Fight Club thing they had going on? Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Raw Underground. And Shane was like, Daba Kato! Like, they had him, this big guy, and he would beat the fuck out of people. And it was like, it only lasted for like a couple weeks or whatever that went for.
That was fucking wild that time.
Yeah, it was weird. So he's gone. Dana Brooke.
I mean, did nothing with her, and she's kind of like off and on sometimes.
I know everybody kept saying, oh, she's getting better. She's getting better. You know, honestly, she plateaued a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she just didn't have that much personality, I thought. Like, she's been there for 10 years and got to a point to where she was like, okay. So, like, being okay in like the current state of wrestling as like a female wrestler is like not good. Basically, it's not sustainable. I don't think. Like, she would have been a bigger star or something if it was like 15 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Not now. So, Mansoor and Massey.
Thank God.
No, I love those guys. Hang on a minute. So, I love that they leaned into that model gimmick thing. They went all in 100%. They did that thing that the guys are supposed to do, where they're like, "You're gonna do this, pal," and it's like, it's something that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And like, you go about it a few ways. You could be like, "All right, I guess I'll do it," which is like guaranteeing that you're gonna fail. Or you could be like, "I don't want to fucking do this. It sucks," and you're gonna fail that way too because you're refusing to like be easy to work with, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could go 100% all in. It's like, all right, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm going to try to make this fucking work the best I can.
It's like Brizongo, pretty much.
And the thing was, Vince liked those guys. They took his dumbass idea and they fucking went with it. And he liked that they did that. So that shit works. It's just that when Vince went, he had problems. Their push kind of like got fucked up and they didn't end up going where they were supposed to go with it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's been another thing that's been interesting is like them talking about like their career and everything. And they're not bitter about it and shit. Like, what's his face is? Booger. But they're like, no, man, it was cool. And like, they were just disappointed that it didn't go where they thought it was going to go, kind of a thing. And apparently they had like a bunch of other shit they're going to say later. Like the other one guy's writing a book, I guess. So I don't know. I like those guys. Quincy Elliott.
Who's that again?
That's Gay Visceradust.
Okay.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
And like that guy sucked apparently. Like I don't know. I heard he had a couple matches and he was like, what's the word? Bizarre or some shit. Like, and I don't know. It went nowhere. The guy didn't get over.
Mm-hmm.
Shanky.
That's the dancing Indian, right?
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, it's getting into NXT people that we don't know. I don't know. And then Matt Riddle.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, like, and from what I heard, this makes total sense. Is like he fucked up too many times.
It's just, why did he do that? Why did he do like I don't think I think eventually he would have been let go, but I think the JFK airport thing where he accused the TSA agent for like sexually assaulting him, and then he's like, "No, bro, that's a lie." And
no, bro, he sexually assaulted. You said JFK, and I thought you were gonna blame him for like the JFK assassination for a second.
It's an actual airport.
No, I know. It's just like that, immediately when somebody says JFK, I don't think of an airport. I just think of John F. Kennedy.
It's just like it's so stupid to do that. Like it makes you think like I don't think he was doing it on. Well, he did do it. He did do it on purpose, but I wonder if he did it because he wanted to get out of WWE. You think?
Apparently, he was drunk at the time.
Oh,
so I'm not surprised by that. But like, I think like this guy has had like a bunch of like personal issues that keep getting out there in the public. And like WWE is a publicly traded company that runs a PG show, even though they push to be a little edgier at times now.
Mm-hmm.
But like primarily it's still PG. This guy's like having all his dirty laundry aired, like his wife was fucking telling on him about being a cheater and dating porn stars and not stopping doing drugs and being abusive. And then his other porn star girlfriend tells on him about dating other porn stars and abuse, more abuse allegations. And then there was that thing, that abuse allegation that one female wrestler said where like he fucking accosted her in a bus allegedly and forced her to service him. And like all of these things kept happening. And it's just like you can't be in a publicly traded, the big company like that and like have all these stories fucking come out. It's like no bueno. And that one with the fucking airport incident, that was the last straw. He's like, no, you fucked up. Like, how many incidents did I just list off? Like, goddamn, he fucked up 5 times.
Nothing of value was lost.
Honestly, no. Like, I used to like him more before, but it's like as I saw more of him, and they leaned more into like the stupid part of his gimmick when he got in the main roster, I cared less about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, the thing I liked most that he ever did was that little feud he had with Seth Rollins, where they got really mad at each other.
Oh yeah, because the whole, like, you know, there was something involved with women. I remember
their family. It's like,
yeah.
He's like, you want to talk about my family? Let's talk about your family. He's like, you don't have one because your bitch ass is fucking divorced. Like, what did you say, bro? Like, that was still like good stuff right there. I remember that. I was like, damn, it felt like kind of like an old Raw segment. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's when Matt Riddle was like, "Yeah, you showed your pee-pee online to everybody because like his dick fucking pic went out because of Seth Rollins' ex released it."
Yeah. That's like the best thing he did besides, I guess, the shit with Orton.
I thought, like, I give him respect because, like, every time I give Orton respect because every time he like meshes with someone, he always makes it work. And I fucking hated Riddle. And I'm like, I can't see Randy doing this, and he made it work. RK Bro, and
because that was the gimmick. Randy didn't see himself doing this.
Yeah. And it just worked. And then he went back to being it. And you just told me that they were planning to have McIntyre and Riddle be called McRiddle.
McRiddle.
Yeah.
How I'm wondering if they would have really went through that. And then, like, did they not think McDonald's might not get mad at them? Like, or something like, what the fuck are you all doing saying McGriddles and trying to sell fucking merchandise around McRiddles?
You know what? They probably were working with McDonald's to like have a special sandwich and have like Matt Riddle like fucking advertise it or whatever.
What if like they did like, you know, Matt Riddle's dumbass entrance was always like, I don't know, unicorns fly out of his ass or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
When he'd kick his stupid flip flops off.
Like,
what if he did that when he was in McGriddle, and when he did the flip flop kick, it rained McGriddles on the crowd.
Oh God,
dude, I would eat that shit. I'm not gonna lie. That's like one of the things I really like from McDonald's is a McGriddle. I'm hungry right now. I'm hungry. Pull Scott Steiner, just leave.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. In my opinion, nothing of value was lost.
With Riddle, no.
Yeah,
he's a talented guy, but he's dumbass.
I also think it kind of hurt him when the company that is owned by UFC is now with WWE.
Dana White fired him twice, lol.
Yeah, and Matt Riddle got fired by UFC, and he got fired again.
Dude, you should have heard him. Like, he fucking like laid into him. Like, he called Matt Riddle a fucking dumbass, all this other shit. He really doesn't like him.
Yeah, so I don't know where he's going. I don't see him going to AEW. I think hopefully Tony learned his lesson and is like, I don't want controversy, so I'm not gonna bring Matt Riddle here.
I don't know if he'll get an offer from them, but apparently he's got a bunch of people trying to get him to do shit with them already. So
where
somebody's trying to take advantage.
Impact.
I see Impact tried hard. And apparently some MMA outfits that weren't UFC were like, you will come fight, bro?
That kind of like sucks a little bit because like getting punched in the head is like worse than like taking bumps in WWE, in my opinion. Especially when you're a safe worker and you're not doing like high stupid shit like in AEW. Like, yeah. It's like less damage than compared to getting fucking wrecked in the face by a punch or a kick.
It's more damage because you know, if you're like, I don't know, if you're Ray Phoenix and you have nobody else to blame but you for snapping your own fucking arm, some shit like that.
Fuck Ray Phoenix. Like, I just fucking flippy doodahs, fucking
those guys, like, they either fuck themselves up like really bad or they fuck somebody else up like every time.
Like, why are you pile driving someone that's twice the size of you? Like,
yeah, that's another thing. Why are you doing? Because that looks cool. That's why. No thought beyond that. Just
yeah, I just want to make the neck look like bent because it looks cool. Fuck you, Ray Phoenix.
It'll be cool because I'm half his size and I pile drived him. That's
and then I'll do a Canadian destroyer
and not beat him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta yell at clowns.
Yeah, but that's all the list pretty much.
Yeah, because everybody else is just like NXT people that I didn't fucking know except like one person. Okay, I knew about that Quincy Elliott guy too, so 2 people, but like still not worth getting into.
Yeah, I mean they had to trim the fat, in my opinion. There's some surprises on there. I'm surprised Titus O'Neil's not cut. That guy's clinging on to dear life.
No, that dude's like transitioned into like a back ambassador, like brand ambassador guy and all that kind of shit. He's not in danger of fucking leaving.
You think Ziggler's gonna be with his brother in AEW?
I don't know. See, like, honestly, if I was Dolph Ziggler and he still wanted to wrestle, and that's the thing about him is he's been there for almost 20 years, 19 years. And granted, one of those years he was in OVW, not making a lot of money, but still. But like, he comes off to me like a guy who's probably saved all of his money, and he might not ever need to work ever again, for all I know. But like, he got into doing like comedy shows, and I guess he's really into that, like on the side.
And he's into politics too.
Is he?
Yeah, he's done a lot of Fox News stuff.
What?
Yeah,
I've never fucking heard of this.
And fucking Titus, the fucking the Funkasaurus dude.
Tyrus.
Tyrus, yeah.
So Dolph Ziggler was on there with Tyrus?
No, they were on different shows, but Tyrus is also another political dude.
Oh, he's another goose-stepping moron too. Okay. I'm just kidding. But no.
Somebody called him mama.
But no, anyway, maybe he'll want to just do all comedy. Maybe he'll want to do other shit. But I would,
I'd stay away from AEW, in my opinion.
I'd stay away from wrestling in general for a little while because he's just been on TV for so long. And for the last few years, he's done nothing but get his ass kicked almost.
Yeah.
And like everybody knows this guy's good and they like him, but he's been beaten to powder. So just go away for a while, make everybody miss you because you went away. Maybe you could change your look up a little bit. Don't cut your hair short though. Like it just does not work for you for some reason. And then come back. I don't know. If you want to try to go to AEW, I mean, he's still young enough that he could work at a high level.
Have Ric Flair manage Ziggler in AEW.
Or he could go to Japan, maybe. And then,
if Ric Flair wants to go to Japan.
And then somebody said something about how they thought, oh, he'll be back in WWE soon anyway. Like not a random loser on a podcast. Like, somebody that's a wrestler, was a wrestler, a former personality. So who knows?
Yeah. I think that's all the news, right? Am I
missing something? We covered pretty much everything that happened that was important.
Yeah, because now it's like dead until pretty much Survivor Series and then the Royal Rumble in January. That's when things start getting into the road to WrestleMania, pretty much.
I mean, WWE got Jade Cargill, and I feel like everybody blew that up way more than what it needed to be. But like, I guess it's just because everybody thinks she's got potential.
But they're doing head games because Triple H like fucking announced it and stuff, making it sound like.
Yeah, like I get it though too. Like I do think she's got potential to like be a lot more than what she was in AEW. Because it was just like they didn't know what the fuck to do. They don't have like a system in place to like let alone like the booking to actually like build somebody up like that. It needs to be like guided and protected, and for them to learn like all in that time frame. And yeah, she can get help from veterans backstage that will actually want to tell her shit and listen to her, like CM Punk teaching her how to use a fucking chair and not hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, or something. They were going to have her swing a chair and she'd never done it before. Like that's just stupid. Like it's like, oh, you just swing it, it'll be fine.
Fucking,
like,
what are they doing there in AEW? Like it's the embodiment of hell, I think, of wrestling.
The more I hear about it, it's just I feel like there's like no fucking control, and there's like no like there's no thought about anything. It's just like, oh, you can just do it, okay, and then whatever happens, I guess. Fuck it.
I think it's just Tony Khan and his toys at this point, and he's like
the toy meme. Yes,
I got a new toy, Edge.
It sucks. It's like it always sounds like I'm like ragging on him hard. It's just, but it's because like they could have been more, and I feel like that window is closing. It's just like the potential is being squandered every day, unfortunately. And here, bold prediction: when they lose MJF, that's when it's really going to hurt bad. It's really going to come. Like if they can't keep him, they're fucked. They're just going to be like Impact.
If I'm Tony right now, I'm tripling his contract.
You better.
Because I'm with you. If they lose MJF, that company's tanking. Or either that, or it's going to be like Impact, where like things go to die there.
It's like Impact lost, or they either used all their homegrown talent to like feed, ex WWE guys and shit, whatever.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, or they didn't take care of the guys there and let them get away from them, and it just killed their roster. Where it's just like, well, there's no interest there anymore because it's just old guys from other companies or like people that suck or whatever.
And it's kind of hilarious, and I know there's at least one gay wrestler that's on the Acclaimed, but like
Bones.
all the other like Nyla Rose who's trans, and Sunny Kiss. I don't know if she was a femboy or a trans person, but like Tony never used them, and I feel like they just used the publicity of those two people just to get those type of fans in there. And
maybe,
yeah, most of those fans are still there, kind of. And I think because I'm thinking like long term, like if you're gonna have controversial wrestlers, because like I don't know if Ric Flair still has heat because of that one episode of Dark Side of the Ring with the plane thing. Will people get bent out of shape and try to cancel Ric Flair? Or Hulk Hogan, if you ever like came to fucking AEW somehow, well, his, because he hates, he doesn't hate black people, but that radio thing, like they're gonna have that over his head, and Tony can't do that because of those certain fans that will try to do stupid canceling.
Man, I don't know though about that, because it's just like there's a couple instances where Hogan says stuff about black people that's not flattering.
Yeah.
More than that one time. There's the other time he got caught on camera talking to his son in prison. He said something like, it could be worse, we could be reincarnated and be black people. I'm not joking. He fucking said that.
That's weird.
And then like there was like that time where they were, WWE's kind of trying to ease him back in because he's still under like a Legends contract with them and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hogan was supposed to like, say something to the whole roster to like not look as much of an asshole anymore. And basically his apology was not apologizing. It was like, you never know when somebody's recording you, brother. So be careful what you say. So like, I don't know what happened to Hulk to make him not like black people, but I think he really doesn't like it. It's like, so. I don't know what that is. It's weird though. There's his language and the way he goes about it. There's something really there, and I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with this, but like
Flair, I think Flair's heat's almost gone anyway. Like, okay, like if WWE wanted Ric Flair to be on TV, they'd put him on TV. I don't think they would even fucking hesitate about it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But in AEW, there's like weird, sensitive motherfuckers in that locker room and in the fan base that will fucking make a huge stink about it. And I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? But I think we'll end it here. Remember, we thought that I don't know how long this show is going to go. We're almost 3 hours. That's because we like to ramble on the news, and I'm okay with that.
We had to vent some.
Yeah. Since CM Chaz or CM Wonk Chaz, what is it called?
I'm just calling CM Chaz.
CM Chaz is not here to defend AEW. So, and I think he's like on the side now where AEW is getting stale, and I think he's joining our side.
He's starting to turn.
Yeah.
The worm has turned.
All right. Well, if you want to catch more Getting Some Color, we're on all podcast services. We're mostly on YouTube. So remember to hit that subscribe button and give us a comment and a like. And until next time, everybody, remember to get some color. Peace.
Bye.